Right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. Tonight we have some club friendlies. We're of course still in the USA with the pre-season fixtures. Tonight we have a meeting between two WSL sides though, which does add that extra layer of intrigue as we'll start to get a bit of an understanding as to how these two will match up. So it's Chelsea against Arsenal tonight in Washington. Harry, we saw obviously Chelsea play against Gotham and it was quite a convincing victory even though you had your eyes closed for it. What did you take away from that game?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting game, as you say. Chelsea coming into this off the win against Gotham, Arsenal coming into this off the win against Washington Spirit. And everyone will say it's only pre-season, but to the fans, to everyone involved around the two clubs, it is that first blow. It is only a mini blow, but it's a mini victory in a sense. Winning against your rivals, a lot of people are touting that Arsenal could be back in the title fight this season, right up until the end with Chelsea, with Man City. So maybe is this the time that Arsenal can prove that to people? I think this is going to be a very, very good game. Yes, it probably won't tell us much for what's going to happen in the coming WSL season, but Chelsea versus Arsenal over in the States, it's going to be a fun watch either way, isn't it?
Definitely, and welcome to the stream already. Unbiased TV saying, come on you Gunners, well it's a shame you're supporting Arsenal tonight. I'm kidding, of course. You are welcome to support anyone. As Adek Pay says, admin, you guys are Chelsea fans. Yes, we are Chelsea fans. However, if you are an Arsenal fan, don't switch it off. We will try to be neutral.
No bias here.
We might cheer a Chelsea score, but we will be as neutral as possible during the commentary. So don't get annoyed too much there. But yeah, I've been very impressed. I was very impressed with Chelsea against Gotham. I think tonight we should be looking to win again. I don't like to read too much into pre-season. I don't think it tells you all that much. Obviously, you want to win all your games. But as we've seen, Chelsea's men have had a mixed pre-season. They come into today's game and they beat Wolves 6-2. And you get examples like that all the time with teams that do well in pre-season and they look terrible in the league, and teams that do terribly in pre-season and do really well in the league. So I don't want to read into it. I never want to read into it too much, but you can sort of get an understanding, not of how they'll match up against other teams, but how they'll play in themselves. You'll start to see elements of Bompastor's system. We saw that in the game against Gotham because we saw that situational back three at times. We saw Niamh Charles getting very high. That was very interesting to see for me. Those positional differences and those tactical differences to how we lined up under Emma Hayes.
Yeah, very much so. I think that is the interesting thing, isn't it? That's the thing that sets it apart from the actual season, is for me, these two sides at the moment do look nothing like the sides that will turn up on the 21st of September and will kick off the new campaign. Chelsea, as you say, new manager, they're still bedding into this Bompastor system. The new era under Sonia Bompastor is still getting underway. Chelsea are by no means at full strength at the moment. They're understanding her tactic. They're getting used to new things around the club. For Arsenal, obviously still managed the same, the core of the squad is the same, but there's a lot of new signings, big signings as well. We're talking ceiling-raising signings like Caldente, like Van Domselaar, like Kafai. These kind of players that are going to take time to settle in, so they're very much not firing on all cylinders either. And that's what pre-season about. Pre-season tonight, it's less about the result. Yes, the result will be great to get one over your rivals early on before the season's even got underway. But tonight is more about getting your team up to standard, getting your team to the maximum of their ability, building up into the new campaign so that these two sides can rock up on that opening weekend and deliver from the off and perform like title winners, perform like title challengers.
Yeah, I mean, pre-season is about two things. Well, three things really. It's fitness, familiarity and fans. It gives the fans in the US a chance to watch the game. It gets the teams in the WSL to understand their teammates a little bit better, understand the tactics better, and of course it builds up that fitness, which isn't so important this summer because we've just had the Olympics. A lot of players have been at that, so they've already pretty much had a full pre-season.
If anything, they want a rest.
Well, exactly. And so these games, in a sense, are more like exhibition matches in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's have a look at the lineups. Unfortunately, FootMob or anyone like that doesn't have it, but we will use the club's official lineup announcements, provided they actually post them this time. Gotham did just decided not to last time for a while. But we'll have a look at the Chelsea team to start then. In goal, it's Sakira Musovic, a back four of Bronze Buchanan, I was told to pronounce that in the most recent video, Captain Bright and Ashley Lawrence. In the midfield, it's Nuskin and Captain. Across the three, it looks like it's going to be Wrighton, Hermano and Canaride, and then Beaver Jones leading the line. So your classic 4-2-3-1. We did see some quite interesting tactical things last time. A 4-4-2 out of possession, a 3-5-2 type shape in possession. So already we're starting to see Bompastor experiment with different in possession, out of possession shapes. that's a positive thing to say.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's a slightly more rotated Chelsea side than the side that played against Gotham. Perhaps that is
Like we're making a statement against Gotham.
Yeah, exactly. Bompastor, first non-competitive game in charge. She just wanted to get the win under her belt. Wanted to see what the players were like. She's had that. She's trained with the squad. She's going to up the ante now. We're now seeing rotation. Chelsea are going to start to have a bit more of regular pre-season from here on in. So yeah, a bit more rotation from Chelsea. That's expected in pre-season.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the Arsenal team, hopefully, is in squad number order rather than player order, but we can piece it together fairly easily. In goal, it's Manuela Zinsberger. That I can just say for certain. A back four of Weinräufer, Williamson, Catley and McCabe. In the midfield pivot, I assume it's Cooney Cross and Kim Little. I don't see any other midfielders in there who would play that deeper role. Then you've got Beth Mead on one flank, Caitlin Ford on the other, Rosa Kafai, new signing from BK Herken in attacking midfield, and in the line it's Alessia Russo. So, I mean, the first thing I want to point out, obviously Arsenal in that first game, we can't read into it too much. They played a lot of young players.
Yes.
This side looks much more similar to how we're going to see them start the season. Obviously, no Emily Fox, she got to the Olympics final. She's not someone they need to be playing in all their pre-season matches. And no like Caldente and stuff, but obviously she was playing for Spain. So they're the notable admissions. But other than that, this looks full strength, I think.
Yeah, it is a decent side, but again, there's a lot of rotation in it, similar to Chelsea, so it's what you expect in pre-season. But I think the one name out of all 22 players on the pitch that intrigues me the most is Rosa Kafai into the Arsenal lineup then, since joining from Harken.
Very star, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is pre-season. But it's always exciting to see a new player, whether it's your club, whether it's a rival club. It's always intriguing to see how a new player is going to perform. I'm not saying that if she doesn't score a goal, that suddenly she's rubbish, but I'm saying it's very interesting. Is she going to look sharp? For her, it's about gelling with her teammates, getting to know how Arsenal play and adjusting to that. But at the end of the day, we know how good Kafai is. She's a brilliant, brilliant player. One of the top players in the UWSL last season, despite the fact Harken didn't go very far. So I think it's a very exciting signing for Arsenal, and I'm sure there's a lot of Arsenal fans watching the game in our live chat right now that are very excited to see their new signing play.
Yeah, definitely so. I thought she was very good in their other pre-season match against Washington Spirit. I think she will be a handful tonight, and will be a handful for a lot of WSL sides this season. She's a very talented player. She was tapped with a lot of top clubs. I think it was a real coup for Arsenal to go and pull that transfer off. So impressive stuff, and I think it's a real statement of intent from Arsenal. We've got a lot to go through in chat. Do keep the messages coming in, because kickoff, we know for these US friendlies, tends to be about 15 minutes later than they have said. We thought this would be a 9 o'clock kickoff tonight. DAZN aren't even starting their coverage till 9:15, so either they're missing the first 15 minutes or we do have a bit of a delay to kickoff. So do get the messages in chat. Whether you're a Chelsea or Arsenal fan, we're going to discuss them all. Marion says, watching from Uganda, let's go Blues. We love to see it. Paul Hepton saying, for me, Arsenal still look weak in their backline and still using their play out from the back, even in a hopeless situation. I think a lot of that is they don't have a pivot player to really play off of. So if you think about the top sides who play out from the back, your first thought is someone like a Barcelona, who have the best defensive midfielder, I believe, in the world, in Kira Walsh. Now, if Arsenal were to go and sign Kira Walsh, I think that changes a lot, because Leia Valti isn't very strong in possession. She's very good. She's a very good tackler, covers a lot of ground, but isn't great in possession. From that pivot player, you want someone that's very comfortable receiving the ball under pressure, very comfortable picking out a pass and progressing that ball forwards. What Valti does better is holding on to that ball. So you can retain possession, but you don't really progress it forwards. And eventually, if you're playing sides who are very good at pressing, they're going to press up against your backline, they're going to force you deeper and deeper, and eventually you succumb to that pressure, or you boot it long. And then nothing really comes of that.
But I think the other thing for Arsenal obviously is, I mean, we won't see it tonight because Zinsberger's in net, but Van Domsler is a much better goalkeeper playing out the back with the ball at her feet. If you've got a player that can find the pass rather than give it to the opposition when she's under pressure, that's a huge difference. So for Arsenal, I agree with you. I think they were definitely weak last season, but that could maybe change going into this season.
But also, she was the number one ranked goalkeeper for long pass accuracy in the WSL last season. So if she is looking for those long balls, it's not going to be an aimless hoof. It's going to be a ball looking for someone like Rousseau. And I do think with Kafai in there as well in that attacking midfield role, you've got someone to really aim for. And even if you don't have her in there, even if you don't have those players, you're going to have Blackstone or Manham.
Yeah.
Both really accomplish in the air. So I do think you gain a lot there. Ultimately, the irony of the situation with Miedemar leaving is that having a goalkeeper that can kick it long would have been so complementary to Vivian Miedemar's style, but of course that doesn't quite come together for them. MZ Kadoya saying, "Hey guys, long time, happy face today. We won the game 6-2 and waiting for another victory." Indeed, Chelsea were very impressive against Wolves this morning. Still a bit shaky in defence, but yes, the men's side did do very well. Anton C saying, "Arsenal play first competitive game in 9 days. Chelsea have a while to go." Indeed, and that will make a difference because if you notice the two sides tonight, Arsenal are virtually full strength. Of course, they're not playing the players like Fox and Caldante, as I mentioned. They haven't returned yet to the squad or are fit enough anyway, so they don't really need that. But obviously Arsenal do play Rangers in the Champions League the week after next. We will be covering that game where Arsenal will be hoping to get to the Champions League for the first time in a couple years, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that is a good point. Arsenal will be preparing now for that first game. Chelsea, they've still got a friendly on the 7th against Feyenoord. I believe this is the last game in the US though, so their tour is coming to an end, but they're still in exhibition friendly time mode. Yeah,
it's still two very different. They're both preparing, but they're preparing for different things. To be honest, I look at this Arsenal side. I think perhaps a Van Domselaar or a couple of other players coming to the side, but I think the core of the 11 you see tonight will be the core of the 11 that starts that first Rangers game for me, which kind of makes sense. We're not expecting Arsenal to go full strength, which is risky because yes, it's Rangers, but we know Arsenal's history with Champions League knockout qualifiers. Got to be careful. And I think that is something that Eidevall will know better than anyone after last year, is that Arsenal, it is imperative that they make the Champions League proper, because if they don't, that is a massive failure. That is an absolutely huge failure. With the players they've brought in, the improvements they've made, they've got to get that right. That starts tonight though. They need to go into that game being sharp, being prepared. I'm not saying they need to blow Chelsea out the water here, but they need to look good, they need to look sharp, even if they do lose the game.
Yeah, worth noting as well with Van Domselaar, obviously she's still recovering from an injury, so we won't see her in any of these pre-season games. We haven't seen her yet. I don't think we'll see her play the Rangers match, and it does open up a question, because we assume Zinsberger will start the opening game, since Van Domselaar wouldn't have had a game of football yet, until that opening WSL fixture, where she's unlikely to be fit. Does Zinsberger start the season? In which case, how do you manage bringing Van Domselaar in if Zinsberger plays the first few games?
It's a very tough one, especially with the first game being Manchester City.
Do you just wait for her to make a mistake on Zinsberger's part?
I don't think you have to wait long. I think Zinsberger's a decent keeper on a day, but against Man City at home, so away, and on the opening day of the season, that's got a mistake written all over it. But that's also got a mistake that could cost you later down the line, and that's the problem Arsenal are in. I think Van Domselaar's a brilliant goalkeeper, and you're going to sign her anyway, even if she was going to be injured. But I don't know. I always find, I think she's a great signing, but I always find it weird signing a player that's currently injured. That you need a starting goalkeeper from minute one, so you sign a goalkeeper that you know that is going to be injured for the first few games. It's just surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, to be fair though, she's still it's a great deal, a really nice price. You look at players like Kat Makara. She was injured when Chelsea signed her. Long-term injury, but she's come back and she looks really solid. So I think it can still work. But I do get what you're saying. Arsenal will be without Van Domselaar for what is likely a good couple games.
I feel for Arsenal and City, because what we have seen in the last 2, maybe 3 years is that the title fight, and whether you're in it or not, can come down to such fine margins. And the worry is, for whoever loses that game, you've already put yourself 3 points behind one of your title rivals. If they draw, they've both put themselves probably 2 points behind Chelsea, let's be honest. I'll be very surprised if Chelsea don't win their opener, but they might not. So it's a really frustrating first game, and I'm sure it will be. But for the winner, it'll be brilliant. For the loser, it'll be worse. But equally, it is the first game. But it's one of those. It's all psychological. I think Arsenal, though, it's a weird season to prepare for. With having the Champions League qualify so early, their first competitive fixtures in 9 days. But it's a weird one because it's not quite competitive in terms of, realistically, they should blow Rangers out the water. And that's not being insensitive to Rangers. That is just the quality that Arsenal possess. So it's a bit of a weird one because it will have a pre-season friendly feel about it, but the importance of the match is so big.
Yeah.
And that's a hard one to get right for Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, the Champions League is the pivotal thing for Arsenal this season. I think they were disappointed to not qualify for last year's edition. That loss to Paris FC is something I think they'll find a lot of frustration around, because realistically they should have got through.
Yeah.
I think United will feel less because obviously they lost to PSG. For Manchester City, they don't know who they'll face yet, but it's only one match, sorry. I think it's only one leg anyway. Yeah. So they've just got to win one game, and then they're into the competition. So for City, if they weren't to qualify, I think there'd be a lot of disappointment there for Arsenal as well. It's a huge amount of revenue. It's a huge amount of exposure. There's players on both teams that should be playing Champions League football week in, week out. You've got players, you look at Arsenal and they've just signed Calder, they've just signed Rosa Fafai. Those players don't join if there's no Champions League football. And if there's no Champions League football next summer, they're the kind of players that will look to leave because they should be playing Champions League every week.
Mario Canate says goodbye if she's not playing the Champions League. Yes, she's one of the best players in the can be on a day is one of the best players in the world. She cannot afford to not be playing in the Champions League. Arsenal.
Well, even like players like Leah Williamson, she's been there for a couple of years now. Did she play one edition of the Champions League? I think they were in it in 2021. And I can't remember if Williamson would have featured in that. I believe she would have. So I think she's played one.
Yeah.
Mead has a couple of Champions League campaigns under her belt. But there's a lot of players in this Arsenal team who haven't played in the Champions League before. There's a lot of players in this Arsenal team who deserve to play in the Champions League. It is the best competition. I do think we are edging closer towards a time where the Champions League will hopefully expand. Because I think there are so many big teams that missed out on it last season. You mean, Wolfsburg weren't there. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. That Wolfsburg, Arsenal, Manchester United... They all weren't there, and obviously there'll be so many other teams that you'd think, well, maybe they should have been there. I think you could put Atletico Madrid, especially with their new signings in there, and they're competitive.
Yeah,
I believe they're adding 2 teams for next year, which will be interesting to see how they allocate those. But yeah, so we should see more Champions League sides. But for the English clubs, we've not had 2 representatives for a couple of years now.
No.
So I think they will, for Arsenal and Manchester City, the earnest in this early season will be to get into the Champions League.
Yeah, and I think, short term, obviously for Arsenal, that is the main aim. For City, that is the main aim. I think the one thing that people need to understand now, and I fully believe this, after how close City came last season to Chelsea, and the additions and the strength that Arsenal have brought in, on paper, I think all 3 of them should be and could be and should be fighting for the same things, and by that I mean trophies. Yeah. All 3 of them should be in the hunt for the WSL for the whole season. All 3 of them, realistically, should be going deep in the Champions League. Because apart from Barcelona, Lyon, and maybe Wolfsburg, and maybe Bayern Munich, I think, maybe not. To be honest, I think that's being a bit nice to the other teams. The 3 WSL clubs should be very deep in the Champions League. I'd expect to see each side, Conti Cup, FA Cup, they need to be going deep. The fact that the FA Cup final last season was Man United Tottenham is not a good reflection on the best clubs in the league.
Well, that was a bit of a circumstantial one, because obviously Man City knocked out Arsenal.
Was that Conti Cup, though? I thought that was Conti Cup.
I can't put... no, because Arsenal got to the final.
Oh, yeah, of course they did.
And Chelsea knocked Man City out of the Conti Cup in the semis. But yeah, so in the FA Cup, Man City beat Arsenal, so Arsenal are out. Yeah. And then City went and lost to Tottenham because Tottenham put on a great defensive display. They won that on penalties.
And Chelsea lost the most...
And then obviously, Zelen was playing handball.
So maybe that, I guess the FA Cup is an anomaly.
It is. And United and Tottenham are hardly bad teams. They're 2 sides that will be wanting to compete for trophies now. United winning a trophy is not a bad blemish on any of those sides. I think more so for City than Arsenal, the prerogative to win titles this year.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal, last season they won the Conti Cup.
They can't keep winning the Conti Cup. That's not good enough.
No, obviously not, but it's something.
Yeah.
City haven't won anything under Gareth Taylor, have they?
No. Their last trophy was the WSL, wasn't it? I can't remember.
No, that's 5 years ago.
But if they won a cup or anything.
I think they took an FA Cup a couple of years back.
Potentially. I can't remember now, but... It's one of those, you're bang on. Arsenal and City both need trophies this season, and what that does, that creates a really big scenario, because either those 2 clubs will miss out on trophies again, or they will be taking trophies off Chelsea.
Okay, so Man City won the Conti Cup in 2022, and the Women's FA Cup in 2020. Okay. The last WSL title in 2016.
It's really scattered for City. I look at their squad, they should be winning trophies consistently.
Well, yeah, it's 1 title in 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not good enough, really, is it?
When did Taylor come? Taylor came in 2020, so he has won...
A Conti Cup and FA Cup.
Yeah. No, not the FA Cup.
He's just won the Conti Cup. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think we're going to get a really good season this season, because you've got 2 teams that, in order to win, have got to take trophies off Chelsea. And this is a Chelsea side who are under a lot of change, and a lot could happen. So I think this is the best chance for one of those 2 sides to win a trophy.
Well, that's the thing. I think if you make the argument, even at worst, Arsenal and City are only slightly off Chelsea. I think you make the argument that they're level with Chelsea in terms of squad quality. However, I would I would say that the thing that Arsenal and City have this season that Chelsea don't, for the first time in a decade now, is stability. And that can't be an underrated aspect of football. Stability is so crucial to how a side plays, to how a side understands the tactic and each other. And I know people have frustrations with Eidevall, but if Arsenal know how to play Eidevall's system, that does hand them what you would assume would be a competitive advantage over Chelsea, who don't know Bompastor's system.
Yeah, and that's it. I think the interesting thing is, I think you're right. On paper, it is very hard to split the three sides. The X factor was always Emma Hayes. Now, eventually,
I would argue Chelsea had a much stronger squad last season than Arsenal. I think City were in between the two. I do think Arsenal.
I think City and Chelsea were close, especially with Chelsea. Yeah, with no Sam Kerr for Chelsea, no Millie Bright for most of the season. I think Emma Hayes is always the difference between the three sides for me. Obviously there's a couple others, but Emma Hayes is the big difference. Now, Sonia Bompastor, eventually she probably will be the difference because she is a phenomenal manager and she is better than Eidevall and Taylor. But while Chelsea and Bompastor are getting to grips with her tactic and the league, as you say, I think Arsenal and City have the advantage slightly because the squads are so close to each other. That managerial difference, that stability and that reassurance and the experience really of the WSL could weigh in Arsenal and City's favour. Yeah. And that could be very interesting. However, Bompastor is such a good manager, she could shut us all up and just blow everyone out the water and win the league.
That is true. She could do better than Emma Hayes, which feels wrong to say, but you never know. Paul saying, I think Villa could have a good season. Interesting thought. Obviously, Villa have had a really good window. We've seen some really nice signings there. They've also brought in a new manager coming in from FC 20.
Dutch bloke.
Yeah, what's your problem with the Dutch bloke?
No, I can't remember his name. That's my thing. I forgot a sort of Van der Per.
Robert De Paul.
Robert De Paul, that was it. De Paul.
Not Van der Per.
No.
But they do seem to be making some good moves in the market. They signed Missy Kearns, right? From Liverpool,
I think that's a good
which
signing.
I thought was a really interesting deal. I had no idea why she has left Liverpool for Villa, but that's a real statement of intent for Villa.
I think the main thing to remember is that Villa side is not bad. They had a really tough year. I don't know what went wrong last year. Whether it was Carla Ward, whether it was on the pitch. I don't know what was going on. But that Villa side on paper, there's a reason they finished fifth 2 years ago in the WSL, because that Villa side on paper is not where it was in the league last season. So I definitely think you're right, Paul. I think Villa could be dark horses to have a really strong campaign.
Yeah, I mean, Chastity Grant coming in from Ajax as well. Yes, really exciting signing. They've signed Katie Robinson as well from Brighton.
Yeah, I like that one.
Obviously, I do think Van Domstar's a big loss, and bringing in Sabrina D'Angelo to replace her feels like a huge fall off, a huge downgrade.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
But Van Domstar was injured for a fair bit last season anyway, so I don't know how big that miss is going to be, that loss is going to be. I thought they would sign a better goalkeeper than D'Angelo, if I'm honest. But yes, D'Angelo had some high-profile mistakes, but I think we could see her in a low-pressure environment like Aston Villa actually have a much more successful time, because there's not that intense pressure on performance.
As you said, with Van Domstar's injury, we saw Leek come in and do a decent job. Realistically, I think they could be okay, but as you say, it definitely could be an area of weakness towards the end of the game. But I definitely think that you're right. Villa could have a really strong season, and I think the main concern here is for Manchester United, because they have got a good Liverpool and Villa for me, and Tottenham, who are all on the up. They're all improving. They're all bringing upgrades. Yeah. United, they've made some good signings. I think Turner's a good one. They made a couple others.
Turner's a great
but they haven't got a goalkeeper.
Or a defensive midfielder.
At the moment.
Which is fun.
That's a problem.
It's a fun way to start the season. I will throw in as well, not saying they're going to win the league, but I think they will be better than they were last season, is Brighton. I thought Fran Kirby and Helena Kankovic are top level midfielders. The fact they were playing a Chelsea team last season, the two of them, for me, that's a really, really strong midfield.
It is.
And obviously they've lost Turland, and that's a huge miss. But they've got, I forget the name of her striker partner now. I was about to say Uweke, but that's the West Ham forward. I'm going to have a look now. But I think Brighton have got a decent little side. I know Turland's going to be a big miss, but I don't know who I was thinking of, because there's no one I recognise in this strike force. Oh, Pauline Bremer. I think that, yes, she's not going to replace all of Taylor's goals, but she still put up 2 goals, 2 assists last season.
If you're getting chances created by Kankovic and Kirby, you might be alright.
Exactly. So I think there will be a difference in that regard.
I think it's a big thing, though, going forward, and obviously we'll touch on it in the next few weeks.
Seike is who I was thinking of as well. Seike.
Is that there are so many sides on the up, there are so many sides that look good, it can't all work. And this is what we saw Villa have. Maybe this is why we saw one side will fall off. I think even because Crystal Palace look good coming up, but so does everyone. It's a really hard one to gauge where everyone's going to be in the WSL. But the one thing we do know is that the 3 big sides are going to remain at the top.
Well, I think the relegation battle is really interesting because I don't think Crystal Palace will be as deadweight as Bristol City were last season.
Really good deals.
I think they've definitely been active in the transfer market so far, and I think that Everton especially need to have their eyes over their shoulder. I think that I'm trying to think of also down there. West Ham, yeah, definitely. Leicester. I think their sides. I mean, Leicester relied much too heavily on Jutta Rantala last season, and
do that again.
I mean, they've done well to hold on to it. To be fair, I thought she was going to get a move. I know she's linked with Tottenham, I think, for a bit, which I'm surprised they didn't get over the line.
Yeah,
but I do think that I think Leicester, if Rantala doesn't score the same as she did last season, could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Paul Hepton says, I think that Man United have made it quite clear that the women's team is sadly not their priority. Sadly, unfortunately, I have to agree there. They've not put much investment in this year. They've let their, I would argue, the best goalkeeper in the WSL right now.
If not in the world.
If not in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Naya, Cole and probably after that it would be her or...
Yeah.
Berger had a very good Olympics. Don't think she's right up there, though. But yeah, so letting Mariette go was a huge loss. Lucia Garcia was arguably their best player last season. She's gone now on a free. Katie Zellum, their captain and defence midfielder, that's a really bizarre one to let go on a free. It just is so incompetent. But then you look at Turland, that's a really ambitious signing. That's a really good addition. But so it's weird that they're letting players that have been so key go on a free, but then they're also making good deals. So it's a strange one. It's
such a bizarre scenario. I'd never understand it ever. Not saying that it should be their priority, but you've still got equal things here. But I think especially you've won a trophy. Yeah. Finally, you are the team that have broken the trophy duck for the rest of the teams in England, and you should be capitalising on that. You should be pushing on from that FA Cup win, and it feels like they're letting it slip slightly, which is just so bizarre. There's no explanation for it. I
will say as well, Grace Clinton's going to feel like one hell of a new signing.
Yes,
obviously coming back from loan at Tottenham, I think that her and... But the other issue is, how do you play Grace Clinton and Toon? Do you play Clinton out on the left-hand side? But then what do you do with Mallard? It does feel, for me, I don't understand why Clinton's still there.
Yeah.
Why she's not pushing for a move away. Because at Tottenham, she is the star player. At United, does she even start over Toon?
It's a weird scenario.
I would argue I'd start her over Toon. I don't think that's going to happen because there are a lot of people who rate Ella Toon very highly. I would say, based on last season though, see how they play in pre-season, but I would side with Clinton over Toon, which is I understand an outrageous opinion. I know a lot of people will rate Ella Toon very highly, but I don't think she did enough last season. Yes, she scored a very good goal in the FA Cup final, and she was very integral to that run, but I don't think she did enough in the league last season, and I think Clinton proved her worth it at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have got footballers on a pitch, we have got a game to watch, so that is a very exciting bit of information. Chelsea and Arsenal out on the field now. We should have kick-off here at the Audi Field very shortly. Exciting one tonight. Shall we do some score predictions? I mean, it's difficult to predict pre-season, but throw out some numbers and we'll see if they're right.
Yeah, it is a hard one. Sorry, I was a bit distracted. They really haven't paired the mascots that well because Kim Little's mascot is taller than her.
Maybe
that's amusing. Gura Wrighton's also got the same problem for Chelsea. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I can't split the two sides. It's a pre-season friendly. I'm not expecting too many surprises. I'm going to go 2-2. I think we will see goals for Chelsea. It'll be goals from Canaride because she looked really good against Gotham. And a Millie Bright header. And then Arsenal goals will come from, I'll tell you what, I'll go Russo and I'll go new signing Rosa Kafai.
Interesting. I think Chelsea might lose tonight, and I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. I want Chelsea to win, of course, and I think they're the better team. However, I think that Arsenal will be more up for it. I think they'll be more fresh, more ready, raring to go. Because obviously they've got, their first competitive game in a couple of weeks. And I think they will want to create this discourse that Arsenal are here to compete this season. So I think they will be, in that regard, a bit more up for it. Well, I'm still debating in my head whether they're going to win or not.
Okay.
But I'll say a draw then,
Right,
to be still confident. I'm still believing in Chelsea. So I'll say 2-2. I think it'll be a goal from Beaver Jones because I think she's looked really good so far and will be integral to this system for Bompastor, which is interesting to see. Obviously, I know Ramirez hasn't played yet. She's been at the Olympics with Colombia, but we'll be interested to see whether Beaver Jones can lay down a starting berth, because we thought he might be on the right wing, but Canarise looked really sharp.
Yeah.
Could it be through the middle with no curve? Can she compete with Ramirez for that spot?
I think the biggest question is Guro Wrighton. To be honest, for Chelsea.
But that's more with Baltimore. I don't really see Beaver Jones as a left winger. So
God, bloody hell.
It's difficult to judge. I don't think it's going to be that starting lineup though. I don't think it'll be Hamano on the right. I'd assume Canarise on the right, Hamano in attacking midfield.
I hope so, because Canarise looked really sharp on the right.
Yeah, I would say Canarise, by the way, with my second goal. For Arsenal, I think Kafai will score, and I'll say Blackstenius from the bench as well. Mabedi's saying, how's the team looking, lads? We can do a quick run through the lineups before kickoff, if I can find this successfully. For Arsenal, it is Zinsberger in goal, back four of McCabe at left back, Weinreufer at right back, Williamson and Catley as your centre halves, Little and Cooney Cross in midfield. It's up front, it's Russo, and then across the three, Kafai, Mead and Caitlin Ford. For Chelsea, I could try and guess it, but I will just find the lineup instead. In goal, Musovic, a back four of Lawrence, Bright, Buchanan and Bronze. In the pivot, it's Nusken and Captain. I'm very excited to see those two together, because there's not much balance there. They're both a bit more attacking, and obviously Captain coming in and playing again. That's interesting to see. Obviously, we signed her last season, sent her back out on loan. Can be interesting to see what impact she can have this year. Then right on the left wing, Cameron on the right, Hamano attack midfield, Beaver Jones leading the line. Their lineups for this evening will be Arsenal to get us started here in Washington, the Audi Field.
Obviously, the other new addition for tonight is Chelsea's new third shirt, the black, pink and yellow.
It's a bold look.
It is.
I can't say it's going to be one of my favourites. I don't think it's going to be on my wish list, but it might be a striking design that everyone craves in about 20 years' time. It's going to be Arsenal to get us started. Russo knocks it back, and we're underway here in this pre-season friendly. For both these sides, it's a second outing here in their tour of the USA. Should be an interesting one as we see the London rivals collide. I don't ever like playing. I get why we do it, because obviously, for the American fans, this is a huge draw.
Yeah.
However, I never like playing domestic rivals in pre-season friendlies.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away anything to either of our. But yeah,
fair enough.
I get why we do it.
Yeah.
Arsenal trying to play out immediately, but that's a very high pressure from Guro Wrighton, and that is out of play for an Arsenal throw-in. Unfortunately, the ball seems to have got lost in the Washington Spirit Stadium. But yeah. I will say that the kit looks better on the players than it does in the photo shots. It tends to. Most
the thing is, I didn't notice how much yellow there was on the kit when the photo shots.
Yeah, it looked just pink, didn't it? Which is a shame. But here, Arsenal on the ball. That's a nice direct pass into Russo, unable to get it under her control, and Buchanan now will get it under hers, and Chelsea will look to play some football. Mabedi's saying, looks like Sonia isn't showing her cards yet. Good team, though. Indeed, obviously there is a slight restriction on who we can pick tonight, because we don't have a few of the players. Anyone that played at the Olympics, we don't have back yet. So there is obviously a bit of a weakened side there. But yeah, it's not, obviously teams that got into the knockouts. I know, like Lawrence is back, but Canada got knocked out in the quarters.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't a great tournament, Olympics once again, for Lawrence or Buchanan.
Well, to be fair, they did all right, considering the situation.
Germany,
that Germany game was quite a difficult
Who
match.
ended up being bronze medalists, so...
Exactly.
Fair enough. Chelsea enjoying most of the play, but Arsenal do win it back, and I think I'm very intrigued to see what Arsenal can produce today. I know it's not much, but I know it doesn't mean much, but it's still that mental boost.
Yeah, here's Steph Catley now on the ball. Wants a forward option, and that ball is one in there. And now Chelsea will look to break. Hamano tries to find Beaver Jones to Canarise. It's a bit clumsy there, and they don't seem to be on the same wavelength. Williamson will clear it away. And there was a pick out. Rosa Kafai, lovely bit of footwork, but it's cut out by Shoka Nusken, having absolutely none of that. Here's Beaver Jones. Nusken back as well. I didn't really pay much attention to. Obviously, played in the bronze medal match. So every player differs, I guess, with how long they're out. How long they take to return. Hamano getting a shot away, forcing a save, early save out of Manuel Zinsberger.
Yeah, not a bad effort. Again, all coming courtesy of it was Nuskin winning this ball back.
Yeah, then Beaver Jones drove inside with purpose, managed to shift it to Hamano. Not a bad shot, forcing a stop out of Zinsberger. Catley, heavy touch, puts her under more pressure than she would have liked to have been under. But she does manage to get the ball back to Zinsberger, and Arsenal can look comfortable on the ball once again. We're seeing a real intent to press from the Chelsea team, which I'm liking. Really aggressive pressing system.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a little bit of doubts over it, but we have on the ball high at the pitch here. Hamano, that's a fairly strong combative challenge from her to win that. That has gone for a Chelsea throw. Already seeing signs of Arsenal being caught out in build-up phases.
I mean, massive let-off. Massive let-off. I have no idea why Zinsberger has passed that ball to Catley in there. She can't do anything with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's what we talk about, what Van Donstar brings to this side, is not, a completely brain-dead pass that sells her teammates short.
Right, now back to Bright. It is pre-season, and that's the time for mistakes. So
yes. The problem is we also saw them a lot last season.
That is true. Forward pass doesn't quite come off for Caitlin Ford. Okay, for Weinreifer. Completely wrong side of the field.
It is incredible that in 9 days' time we're back with competitive football for Arsenal. Straight off the Olympics, it feels like only a week ago that the WSL season was ending last campaign.
Yeah.
And we're already back at it so early, so soon. Well, Arsenal more so than the other teams.
Catley tries to carry it forwards. Here's McCabe. Goes back now.
I mean, the Chelsea press is just so intense.
Yeah. They're really up against it here, Arsenal, but they have managed to play out now. Cooney cross. Across to Williamson, down the line into Weinreifer. And again being forced back in there, Kim Little. Now picking out Kafayi, lovely footwork. But she is then halted in her progress by Beaver Jones. Arsenal holding on to possession now. McCabe. So is that McCabe playing left centre-half, by the way?
Yes, it is.
And Catley playing left-back? I mean, that is a fascinating idea from Idavar.
So when it becomes the 3-back, you end up with Katie McCabe as your middle centre-half.
Which, for an in-possession state, is great.
If you lose the ball...
But in transition, yeah, you could be called out a little. Here's Ford.
Ford's another player that needs a massive season.
Yeah.
You feel... Really struggled last campaign.
Ford now, though, tries to play that ball through, but can't quite pull off the pass. Now Chelsea will look to hit Arsenal in transition. Hamano plays Canaride. There's a lot of space on this right-hand side for her to exploit. Can she pick out a teammate? She's going to cut inside onto a left foot post to Beaver Jones. Back to her. Canaride, lovely link up again. Cuts back inside. It's cleared away. Positive stuff from Chelsea, though, is going to fall for Lucy Bronze, who will look to keep this attack alive. Ball down the line is on to Canaride, who looks for the cross, doesn't favour that option, so goes back to Lucy Bronze, who plays it inside to Captain, back to Bronze. Quite a venomous pass back to Lucy Bronze. Here's Bright. Knocks it out wide. Ball down the line from Lawrence. It's overhit and Wrighton can't quite get there. But some good signs already. Lovely link up down this right-hand side. An exchange of passes between Canaride and Beaver Jones was very pleasing on the eye. Got them into a good position. Shame they couldn't make anything of the situation.
Yeah, Chelsea looking the better side so far. Looking a little bit sharper. The press is incredible. It's very strong. And as you say, I think Chelsea and Canaride especially have looked really good in pre-season. Canaride looks like she had a really good season last season, but she's just been on a different level.
Yeah.
And if this can carry into the domestic campaign, then Canaride could be in for one hell of a season.
Yeah, definitely. She looked electric in the Gotham game. She's looked sharp this evening again.
Especially with the absence of some big names for Chelsea starting the campaign. Can I could really step up and make a name. I don't say make a name for herself. She's still an incredible footballer. But I mean, in terms of really, be the leader in this Chelsea, in the new era of Chelsea.
If she adds contributions to her game, I think she's looking very complete. Then she's always been a player who's been very good at progressing the ball forward. Lots of eye-catching dribbling, lots of nice footwork. But the goal contributions, the output has never really been there. End product. She doesn't tend to score a lot. She does get assists, to be fair. Kafai and Arsenal coming forwards now. Ford plays it back to Kafai. Kafai ball in, blocked there by Lucy Bronze out for a corner.
Kafai just looks exciting every time she touches the ball. I mean, just every touch is a positive one.
Yeah.
It's just really sharp footwork, a neat pass.
Looks dangerous.
It does well to get past Buchanan. And plays a nice 1-2 with Ford. And then wins the corner off Lucy Bronze. He does well just to block it out. But a good start to this game.
My big frustration with Caitlin Ford, is her passiveness. Like, she comes inside there, but because she's not direct enough with it or aggressive enough with that dart inside, it just gives that Chelsea defence that time to react, that time to understand what she's going to try and do with the ball.
Yeah.
We know she wants to cut inside, so just wait for it. And she doesn't act quick enough to make it dangerous. And then she just waits. Kafai makes the run outside. Well, at that point, you know what's going to happen because there isn't anywhere to cut inside for us. So it's got to go out wide, or she's going to stand there.
Yeah,
I think she's too predictable in that sense.
100%.
Bronze. Now Buchanan. Musovic. I think that's another big question mark. Chelsea's goalkeeper. Do you think it should be Musovic or Hampton? And who do you think it? Who do you want it to be, and who do you think it'll be? Two different questions, I think.
It's an impossible question who I want it to be. I think out and out quality. I think Hampton's a bit more of a complete goalkeeper. It's a $1 million question. I can't split the two. I think there's lots of minutes to go around. The problem is they both want to be starting goalkeepers.
Yeah, I think both will play a lot. It's just going to be interesting. Obviously, we saw the way Hayes dealt with it was play Musovic till she made a mistake, then play Hampton till she made a mistake, then put Musovic in goal again.
Yeah.
Could we see a similar sort of thing from Bompastor? Maybe. But it's going to be interesting to see two very high quality goalkeepers there. It's going to be very difficult to differentiate between the two. We saw right at the end of Hayes' reign when the title was up for grabs, Musovic came in and did the job. We saw throughout the season Hampton do a really solid job.
What a ball.
Here comes Chelsea, has a defence splitting pass. Beaver Jones' just touch escapes her a little, and it's a really strong tackle from Steph Catley. Yeah,
good tackle from Catley. Beaver Jones lets herself down a little with a touch. But just with the goalkeepers, I think they're both so good. They're not like players. You can't go, right, this player will be better in this game and this player will be better in this game. You just can't split them.
Yeah. Canaride plays it into Beaver Jones. Doesn't quite come off, out for a goal kick.
Aggie looks sharp. She does. I don't know whether she's got the all-round credentials to be that focal striker for Chelsea. That's where someone like Ramirez or obviously when Kerr's fit, has the advantage. I think if Aggie could bring strength into her game, and
that is the most difficult attribute to bring in, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, she can't get stronger overnight.
But I think for me, she's got a very similar skill set to Salma Paraluelo. Now, I'm not going to argue that she's better than Paraluelo or does things to the same level, but I think the skill set is similar. Very pacey, decent composed finisher, good dribbler, and I do think she's more suited to the wide areas. If you get her in behind, through the middle is perfect. Yeah. Because she's in on goal, and she's very composed. She'll finish that chance off. But for me, that's fine if we're playing Palace in match week 2, maybe in Villa match week 1. When we're playing those top sides, we saw in the United game, especially at the end of last season, just how good Maya Ramirez can be. Because she is just a brute.
Bully.
An absolute brute. And she's so physical, so imposing, impossible to defend against. So, and obviously she's quick as well. So it's not like you just, stand off her and she's not going to run after you. Yeah. So I do think in that regard, she is a top striker. The perfect Kerr replacement in a sense. I think she's very similar to Kerr, and Kafai plays the ball into Ford. She takes aim from range and it's wide of the mark.
Yeah,
Force rush that again.
Yeah, Arsenal. Well, I think she's done the right thing because Bronze is coming across and Bronze does well, but Arsenal just hitting Chelsea on the break.
Fire, that is a brilliant ball.
Chelsea's had a few too many.
I don't know why Ford takes his on so early. She doesn't back
Bronze is
herself
right on her,
physically
though.
against Lucy Bronze.
Well, yeah, but Bronze has already put her on the floor. Bronze already leaned across, she's taking the shot. There's not really much more she can do. That's a very good piece of defending. But, I think Chelsea there, it's just not... It wasn't working out in the final third. Arsenal taking advantage of that. Chelsea, just that final pass doesn't seem to be coming off. There's another good tackle in there from Cooney Cross. Arsenal's hoping and starting to settle in now.
Yeah, they do. They look comfortable. I do think, again, that they are definitely playing with what is, I would argue, a stronger 11.
Yeah.
And obviously they're preparing. They're on match week -2, so obviously that preparation in pre-season will be a little bit different behind closed doors. With that training, they'll start to be, with the sports scientists, working on building up that fitness, working on building up that sharpness, and going into that game against Rangers in that Champions League qualifier as prepared as possible. So there will be a difference in that because Chelsea are still in the early stages, still building up that fitness. But yeah, I think in that regard we will see a bit of a difference. We've not really seen, though, Chelsea look tired or lethargic so far, of course, but I think I have more of an impact when we go later in the game where Arsenal have been building up that conditioning and Chelsea perhaps haven't started doing that stuff yet.
Yeah, just an issue here for Steph Catley. Is going to bring a pause to the game. Not quite sure what this is about, but...
Seems to be some sort of head-related injury. That's the area that the physio seems to have some concern.
Not quite sure why. It was an Arsenal throw down in the left corner.
Potentially some sort of head collision. It doesn't even need to be an immediate one that Catley is feeling some discomfort from.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, physio just checking.
Gives a chance for players to have a bit of a cool down. Very warm over in the States. Probably a welcome break for these two sides. It's been a pretty intense first 15 minutes, especially with Chelsea and the strong press that they have developed under Sonia Bompastor. Yeah, the Chelsea kit is really not... I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan. Just looking at it, it's not one of my favourites, but it will do. It's still got the Chelsea badge on it, so that's what's needed.
Yeah, I thought this was the case. I just saw Kuhl in there getting a drink.
Yeah.
Confused me. She's not on the team sheet. She replaced Mead during the warm-up. So Mead came off as a precaution. Now that is a worrying sign.
Yes.
Because obviously Beth Mead has had some injury concerns before. That with 9 days till their Champions League fixture, now I know it's a precautionary one, but that is concerning for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think the fans will have a little bit of panic.
Definitely.
Over that one, but yeah, so I didn't notice that till now. So
Nice.
I've just been calling Kuhl Mead.
The ball hasn't been over there, I think.
No, a lot has been focused down this left-hand side. It feels to me, I mean, I guess the 5-3-2 type shape, which obviously Ford's playing very wide on this left-hand side. Weinreuf is creating the width on the other side. That's random poor touch from Russo, out for a goal kick. So you've got that width. Then you've got Kuhl, Cooney Cross, Little in the midfield three. I'm not sure who's playing out on the right, but they're definitely coming inside a lot. And then obviously Russo and Kafai, at least in possession.
Yeah.
Out of possession, I'm not sure what they're doing out of possession, to be honest. Looks like it's very aggressive.
It's a 4-4. It's a 2, isn't it?
It's definitely a 2. So it's a 4-4-2 out of possession.
Yeah.
But they're pushing both of their midfielders onto Chelsea's pivot players. They're pushing both their strikers onto centre halves, and then their wide midfielders are sort of more narrow.
Yeah.
But that does mean if Chelsea play through that first line of press, which they have done so far, a ball into attack midfielder is completely unchallenged unless your centre half pushes forwards.
Yeah.
And then you open up more problems. So very aggressive pressing from Arsenal. They're trying to go player for player in attacking areas. I'm not sure what they're doing across the back line. We can't see, obviously, in camera shot. But player-to-player marking can be successful.
Yeah.
More often than not, though, it results in you being turned over and transitioned quite easily.
Yeah.
Because it relies on one individual error, and then there's a lot of space.
Yeah.
That's why we tend to see a lot more elite teams go zonal. Ball into the box, and that is not a great cross from Canterbury. Doesn't quite find a target in the box.
Yeah, not bad there from Chelsea. Chelsea are moving it well at the moment. It's just that final ball is not coming off at the moment, but overall it has been a decent start. Chelsea have been the better side, but Arsenal are not too far off it either.
Yeah. And now the key difference, talking about pressing systems again, which might not be the most interesting thing to a lot of people, but I do find a lot of interest in it, is if you look at the Chelsea system, what they do instead of pushing two midfielders up and having the wide midfielders a bit more narrow, is that they push one of their midfielders up. So that obviously they've got that attacking midfielder in there.
Yeah.
Which they can push out a press, but then they push another one up as well. So you create a 2 and then a 3. And you have both your wingers pushing up as well. That leaves you one midfielder still in there, which Arsenal don't have, because they're pushing very high with that midfield 4. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the difference in the two styles. Chelsea's still very aggressive, but leaving a bit more of a player back, slightly more zonal, at least with that defensive midfielder marking. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And again, this is pre-season. This is where you try things. Things will change. We'll see different systems for different teams, of course. Arsenal aren't going to play against Man City the same way they're going to play against Crystal Palace, Leicester, the likes. So
if they do, they could be in trouble. Oh, it depends which way they go.
I was going to say they might be very defensive this season and they play for loads of points, but
yeah,
who knows? But yeah,
Arsenal trying to come forward here and cause some problems, and they are doing just that. But Chelsea look comfortable when Arsenal on the ball, which is an incredible, characteristic to have as a football team, is to look comfortable when the opposition have the ball. That's a huge bonus.
Yeah.
Because it usually means when you've got the ball, they're in big trouble.
Yeah, the other thing with the out of possession football for Chelsea, it is very similar to what they did on Emma Hayes.
Yeah.
Where you've got the attacking midfielder becoming a 4-4-2 type shape. So your attacking midfielder pushed up and becomes a second striker. Your wingers become more like wide midfielders, and it's quite narrow, quite compact 4-4-2.
Yeah.
We saw Chelsea do the same in most of their games last season. Obviously, in the Champions League, it was slightly different because they played what looked like a 4-4-2 out of possession, but a 3-5-2 in possession. So yeah, obviously, as I say, we see difference in a lot of games like that. Actually, it was more 5-3-2 out of possession, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we saw Canterbury operate as a wing back that day. We saw James and Ramirez as a strike partnership.
Worked a treat.
Well, it worked in the first leg. Went very well in the first leg. The difference in the second leg is that Chelsea didn't have Ramirez. So they didn't have someone to play off up there because she picked up an injury. And that was a huge loss.
Yeah.
And then obviously Demetrescu and Kafai's trying a lot of stuff.
She's really good.
She's a player that is going to have a great highlights reel and is already exciting to watch.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think she's a player that's going to get fans off their seats and can be a real difference maker for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Can be. She's a very technical, very creative, gifted player. Jealous. As a Chelsea fan, I'm jealous.
Maybe, yeah. She's a brilliant, brilliant player.
But yeah.
Could be. I think she's one of those players, as you say, difference maker. She could be. You look at some of the games for Arsenal last season. Kafai's the type of player that can turn draws into wins and can turn losses into draws. She can single-handedly win you more points. And that is exactly what Arsenal need. They need those kind of players that will stop the silly losses, stop the silly draws. Here's
Kuehl. That's well, actually, to hold off Millie Bright there. I really don't like these light panels, by the way, on this Audi Stadium because I keep thinking that they've gone off.
Yes.
But they haven't. They're still on the field. Very confusing. Kuehl. Catherine Kuehl's an interesting one. Obviously, she spent the season out on loan last season at Everton. She did okay. I don't think she ripped up trees, but it's quite difficult too as a defensive midfielder in a side who aren't fantastic. Do you think she could come in and do a good job for Arsenal, especially in the absence of Palova?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. It's obviously it's a tough one. It is big boots to fill.
Yeah,
and
they're definitely not the same same mould of player.
And obviously, I think the Everton it's hard to compare because obviously it's a very different environment after Arsenal, and obviously it's that old caveat. You your ability increases when you play against with higher ability players. So hopefully that'll ring true for her and for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean, halfway through the first half here, haven't seen too much. I mean, I haven't really seen a chance, have we really?
No, side's conservative. It's pre-season. No one's going to get injured. Arsenal have a competitive fixture in 9 days. Chelsea are still just working on fitness.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You know, it's a game to get a bit of sharpness in the tank, to get minutes in the tank and for the fans to enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one's going hell for leather.
No.
Put it that way. Arsenal looking to come forwards now, though, Catley. Ball through, Kafai holds on to it well, really assertive defending that from Kadisha Buchanan. Just came across, made the challenge, won the ball back. Good stuff. I think that's what you got to do with Kafai. Brilliantly technical player, but if you put pressure on her, you might get mugged off like that. Kafai coming inside, Buchanan stands her ground. And that's the difference there. You've just got to be assertive.
Yeah.
And you've got to watch the ball. Because
Nuskin,
she's very good with the ball.
You notice there, Nuskin goes to press her and gets nutmegged because she's gone in too naively. Buchanan stands there and goes, I'm not moving, and Buchanan is now down injured because she's collided with Kafai because she did
really
just
good.
say...
She watched the ball.
Yeah. Watched the ball, took the ball, and then went, I'm not moving, you're not getting past me.
Kafai didn't have anywhere to go, so she just sort of ran into her.
Yeah. The brick wall that we've seen Kadisha Buchanan be so many times for club and country, wherever she's playing.
But Kafai is a player who is going to cause a lot of teams issues this season.
100%.
Bronze. Buchanan. Also, Bjorn did play the first game, didn't she? She's obviously not in the team tonight. I think I remember her playing against Gotham.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Buchanan was back yet.
Oh, it's brilliant from Bright. Great to see her back
Actually,
on the
Lawrence
grass.
trying to come down this left-hand side. So Lawrence left back, is that what we expect to see her this season then?
Potentially,
obviously,
but...
No Jess Carter now.
Yeah, but really...
Too many right backs.
I think Charles will play. I think Charles will play the majority, but yeah, Lawrence is your rotation. And then, as you say, it'll be Parasay and Bronze to play the right back role.
I mean, more in the sense that there were a lot of question marks over where she would play. She played right wing against Gotham.
Oh yes, yeah. I think I if anything, she'll rotate herself. If Chelsea are probably going to need a backup left back, then they're going to need a right winger.
Oh right, I was going to say. I thought you meant she'd just change positions halfway for the game. So I fancy playing a right wing now.
Yeah.
So we don't have a left back anymore. We've got two right wings.
I think the majority will be covering at left back for Charles and rotating with Charles because Chelsea are so strong in attacking areas.
Yeah, Cameron and Beaver Jones, you think will share responsibility for that right wing?
Yeah, but even so, you've got other players that can cover there.
I mean, Hermano, I'd argue that's her preferred position. Obviously, if Beaver Jones is playing for the middle, if you're okay to play Hermano on that right wing a fair bit. But interesting her level of involvement this season because Hermano played a bit last season. I don't think she wasn't quite on the level.
I don't think she was given enough game time to really show herself.
She didn't join with the first team until January. She spent the first half of the season out alone at BK Herken.
I think the problem is Hayes wanted to give her game time, but at the end of the day, you're challenging for trophies. You can't afford to be nice.
I think a loan to a WSL side, similar to Beaver Jones's loan move to Everton, would have been a more useful loan. I think Heckham was good for 6 months, but that's January window. You could have got a 6-month loan in somewhere.
We saw Hermano score some decent goals. It was the Villa. Was it the Villa?
I think she got two goals last season.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Villa or if it was West Ham maybe, but it was someone at Kingsmeadow that Chelsea absolutely trounced. But yeah, foul there on is that McCabe? It is. That's common.
Yeah, 2 goals last season in 312 minutes. Not too bad.
Oh,
That's about 0.5 goals per 90.
yeah, not bad. Cannerai just leaving one in there on McCabe.
Yeah. A little bit late there from
not,
John Wright and
not,
Cannerai.
nothing wrong with it, really.
McCabe a little bit of discomfort.
Feeling a lower back. But yeah.
Sorry, it was Hammarby that Hamana was at, not Hurricane.
Yes.
Obviously, we bought her last summer. We loaned her back to Hammarby.
Now, due to the heat, we are taking a hydration break. Oh, yeah. Because we haven't stopped enough in this game.
Yeah, that is perhaps the most American. I was trying to think. I mean, we just call it like a drinks break, but...
Hydration break. We went to kick off at 9. We didn't kick off at 9. Kick off 9:15. God knows why. And...
Could have been a hydration pause.
Yes.
To be even more American.
Hydration interval.
Yes, good. Intervention.
Yes.
Terrible.
Hydration intervention. But another chance for the players to cool down and get some fluids on board.
Yeah.
And in the case of Millie Bright, get some tactics on board.
I don't know how the end of it... I know obviously we're currently not in season, but how do the NWSL players play in these conditions?
Well, the games are usually later as well, aren't they?
I guess, yeah, that is true. But there are still some games on this time.
Yeah, I guess I do just manage it with hydration breaks. Everyone's favourite.
Obviously, this is only the summer, but NWSL games are back in a week. This weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, yes, yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think they were back.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of days, which is interesting. Then Chelsea and Arsenal playing while the NWSL season's on, but
having fun, eh?
Because Gotham played on Friday.
I mean, I rate the bloke with the spray bottle. It's like a Dettol bottle, but I'm guessing it's just full of water and not Dettol. And
I like to hope so.
But yeah, just helping the players cool down. Very warm conditions. Perhaps benefit, but perhaps that is a benefactor as to why we're not seeing both sides at full strength in terms of the running and the press. But it's still been hard work for Chelsea.
Also, Washington Spirit played KC Current on this pitch a couple of hours ago.
Oh wow! Right.
It was 5 o'clock today.
Oh, fair enough.
So I had to finish up. That was 2 hours before this game kicked off.
And they shut this game on as a friendly.
So they had to get everyone out of the stadium, get all the Chelsea and Arsenal fans in.
That's
quick
brilliant.
turnaround. Fair enough.
15 minutes till half time. Not much has happened.
I mean, that sounds like a logistical nightmare. The pitch is holding up well, to be fair.
Yeah. This is what pre-season's about, isn't it?
4-1 win for Washington Spirit.
Ooh, wow. Very strong.
Yeah. I mean, they do have Rodman and Goodaldis.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Denise O'Sullivan in the team as well. Lacey Santos, she got a goal.
Ford, good defending from Bright. It's a good fight though between the two of them. Is Kafai.
Tries to cross it, blocked again by Bronze. Gafai's at the liveliest of anyone on the field tonight.
Yeah, 100%. Really sharp. Looks like an incredible addition for Arsenal. She's one of those players that I'm sure will become a fan favourite very quickly.
Yeah.
I hate that the transition thing is NWSL. This is not an NWSL game.
I'm guessing DAZN don't have another one though.
I don't care. Stupid. But yeah, Arsenal trying to respond to Chelsea's threat with a corner. Oh, that's not a great
Ball
ball.
in, it's headed out for another corner by Millie Bright.
Gafai does well there because she makes it difficult for Bright to deal with, despite the fact the corner was rubbish. So it's just, it's smart play from the midfielder.
Cooney cross over this. A better delivery into a good area, headed away though by Chelsea. Cure will try and keep it alive. Finds Williamson. She'll struggle to keep that on, and she can't.
Surprised that ball just kept running. Felt like she had it in her control quite easy, and the ball just kept running away from her.
Yeah. The touch just wasn't great.
No, not at all.
I feel like they sped up for those that left the field.
Yeah. Very weird one. Yeah. Can we see a goal before half time? Maybe. But I feels like Arsenal have settled in this game. Chelsea are probably the better side the first 15-20, but Arsenal just finding their grit in this game.
Yeah. Ball forwards. There's a good ball into Russo. Controller's in there, and Buchanan will go back to Musovic. Chelsea will just slow it down once more. Into Captain. That's really good.
Yeah.
Captain, I think. That's how you pronounce the name. Obviously, joined last summer.
Intrigued to see how many minutes the first team football she's going to get.
Well, you would expect with Ingle, that's a good ball through towards Captain, and that's well dealt with. But with Ingle probably taking a reduced role in the first team this season, as she will likely move on next summer, with obviously Leopold having departed to join Real Madrid. There's definitely minutes to go round. I know Bartel and Aurélien Jean-François have joined, but Chelsea are somewhat light in midfielders. We were talking about this the other day. Obviously, we did a video in the week for anyone that didn't watch, talking about Chelsea's problem position, which I think is centre half. But I think you can make the same argument that central midfield is just as weak. We've lost Leopolds. I think bringing an elite midfielder would definitely help. Giuliano, I know, has been linked. Grace Cayoro, someone who's been linked a lot. I know her performance levels have definitely dropped off a bit in the last few years, but she's still a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Obviously, Teresa Valera as well, which, no-brainer. Go sign her instantly. Absolute baller, Teresa Valera.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know Chelsea will continuously be linked with Bon Mati as her agent looks to secure a new contract.
Yeah. Game just stopped here. There was a collision between Brighton and one of the Arsenal players. Can't remember who. Didn't quite see who it was at the moment. Still down on the floor. Hopefully they're alright. It was Weinrother. So she's down. She's back up now. So it looks like she'll be okay. Yeah, good defending in the end just to stop Brighton.
She'll feel like a sort of new signing. I know she obviously played a bit for Arsenal before, but missed all of last season with an ACL injury. She's back now, and I think in that regard it'll feel like a new addition because we had Arsenal had McCabe playing a right back last season for a few games. I definitely think that having another right back in there, having more solid rotation options, is going to help with them trying to push for a title.
Yeah.
If they are looking to be in that conversation, if they are looking to be in the conversation for 4 different competitions, I think they are going to have more solid backups. I still do think, I know a lot of people are saying, look at the Arsenal team, they're right up there. My big concern is with depth.
Yeah.
Because I think other than probably up front, I'm just trying to consider all that options in centre half, I would say as well. I don't think they have, great backups in all areas. Centre half, Cadena is more than comfortable coming into the back line. And obviously, we expect Ruben Moy to start, but you can put someone like Catley in there as well.
Yeah.
Striker, I think Stina Plaxenius is a really solid option if Russo isn't playing. And I guess with left wing now, with Ford and Caldente, Manham, I wasn't impressed with her last season, but if she plays as well as we know she can, will be a good option.
And stays fit.
True, but I think I've always had doubts about the starting quality of McCabe anyway. And even if you're starting with Catley, I don't think McCabe offers. I get people like her a lot, but I don't see that.
I think the passion she brings and the fight she brings is incredible. And I completely get that. I think
I think it's a shit house.
And she is. She's such a smart player. In terms of she's one of those. If she's on your team, she's brilliant. If she's not, then as you say, she is just an arsehole. My worry is that is brilliant, and she's really good at doing that. But in a big game, say it's a Champions League, knockout game, or it's a huge game in domestically, that can cost you dearly.
Yeah.
That could be absolutely huge. So you have to be careful with that. Because if she goes and does something stupid, gives her a penalty or gets sent off or tries to do something funny and smart and completely backfires, then it could completely cost you that game.
Yeah. Then with midfield for Arsenal, I think people were just completely forgetting that Palova's injured. People are looking at all these signings around the team and going, well, they're great. But I don't think Vouty is an elite player. I think she's a good player. I don't think she's up there as well. I don't think she's one of the best midfielders in WSL, though. You've got Cooney Cross, who is unproven at this level. You've got Katarina Kuhl, who's unproven at this level.
I think Cooney Cross is a great player, though.
I think she is, but she's unproven at this level. We've not seen her do that in the WSL.
No, I mean, hopefully I'll give her a few more chances to play.
True. With Palova out injured, you'd assume he has to at this point.
Yeah, that's a big miss. I think Palova's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think people are forgetting that she's out all season. Or at the very earliest, she'll be back is March.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge loss.
100%.
For Arsenal, I think that'll be people are underestimating just how big a loss that will be. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So I think that in Emily Fox, they've got one of the strongest fullbacks in the league.
100%.
Williamson,
Yep.
top centre half with Moy the same. So there's a lot of quality in this Arsenal side. I just think
yeah.
that there are still a few too many weak spots, and yeah, I think a lot of reliance on a few individuals last season. That's Messi from Musovic. Going to fall forward, should score. Brilliant stop from Musovic to make up for it. Drops in there for Kuhl, and it's dealt with.
What a recovery.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal have got to score that. And again, we asked question marks to forwards output last season.
I don't really want. I mean, it's good going from Musovic. She's on there before Fording gets the shot away. Really well recovered from Musovic. Completely mess up the pass.
I want to say replay, but that looked like Ford had time there.
And gets out with a big save.
Here is Nuskin.
First real error we've seen from a Chelsea point of view.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a bit of that in the game like this. It's pre-season. Neither side's going to be completely on it. Justin Williams went to the stream saying, just arrived at the game. Who has been the better team? Well, you at the stadium, Justin?
Right.
What do you mean you just arrived on the stream?
Chelsea free kick. Here we go then. Okay. Bright, not a great pass. Musovic passes it out.
Ford has time.
As soon as the ball bounces, though, Musovic practically in front of her. Where else she meant to put that ball? It's really good goalkeeping. She's trying to make herself huge.
Yeah, fair enough. They don't do anything with when they get it back.
Oh yeah, when the ball when the ball falls from the save, it should be dealt with better. Cool kind of sits on it and loses it.
Yeah, they could have reworked that.
It's the tighter chance. It's only pre-season, so Arsenal won't threat too much. But if that happens in WSL, that is a glorious opportunity.
Justin says, "Yep, right above the cameras. That is phenomenal, Justin." But yeah, glad you're enjoying the game. Feel free to drop some pictures in the Discord from the match. But
yes.
Yeah, cool stuff. Neither side's really been better, per se. I think that was probably the best chance of the game right there.
Yeah.
Which Arsenal possibly could have done more with. But overall, I mean, this could be a big chance for Chelsea. Beaver Jones takes aim, drops for Hermano. There's a block in there from Catley. Hermano lifts it out wide, looking for Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence just about gets that under her control. Looks to deliver it, puts it right on the goalkeeper. Zinsberger spills it. Canneride hooks it back in there. Beaver Jones blocked. Still Beaver Jones tries to twist on it. Arsenal have 11 players in the box here, I think. Bronze takes aim and it's blocked. Out for a throw.
Van Domslaar's a huge signing for Arsenal. I'm sorry to Mansell Zinsberger, but I've watched 41 minutes and wow, was the goalkeeper needed?
Yeah.
I mean, flapping at that cross.
But again, how do they integrate her? Could it be that they have to wait till the international break?
If they are, Arsenal are in trouble. Because they've got to play without a goalkeeper.
Just says, have you guys on my earbuds? This is surreal. That is phenomenal. I think that might be the second person. Definitely the first on TWFC.
Yes.
On the Women's Channel. But I think that was the second person we've had watch our stream while at a game.
Yeah.
It's the first one we've had at the game, which is phenomenal stuff. So, Justin with the best insights.
Yes.
But yes, Kane Holloman was at a Watford match.
Yeah,
tuning into our Champions League.
I thought it was a Burnley-Watford game, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been, yeah. It might have been while we were streaming that game, actually.
Because that was a crap game of football.
It wasn't great.
Terrible.
Well, I think the interest behind it was obviously it's the first game of that campaign, wasn't it? And we got to see company ball. Well in the Championship.
Yeah.
He's like Scott Parker. They did beat Wolfsburg in the end today as well, by
3 minutes to go then. Still 0-0. Both sides not giving away too much early on then. That's a nice ball though to Russo.
Russo in behind here. Buchanan trying to get across. Bright might get in anyway. And it is a fairly lacklustre move into the box. And that rolls out play for a throw.
It's just a bit lazy from Russo. She just doesn't bother to look up and just goes, I'm going to put us across the box and hope someone's there.
Yeah. Also, Justin Williams, if you fancy doing some in-person marketing, just walk around the Audi Stadium.
Yeah.
Spread the word about the channel. But yeah. Ball forward from Bronze.
Wasn't a great throw, wasn't a great touch from McCabe. But Arsenal had it back anyway.
Zinsberger. Yeah, so I was going to look at Arsenal's fixtures to start this season.
I mean, obviously City's a horrible one.
Yeah, and I can't imagine they will throw Van Dijk slot in there. Then they've got Leicester away, Everton at home, Chelsea at home.
Wow.
13th of October. West Ham away. Then they've got the international break. They come back to United away.
I feel for Arsenal.
Game.
Because by game week 4, they could be 6 points behind their title rivals.
Or 6 points clear.
Or 6 points. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe
it's 3 points clear.
Maybe it's the time to not be talking like that, because maybe it is the other way around.
They've got to look at City as
must
the
win.
winner is who's going to take on Chelsea this season. That's well. To be fair, you've not. I don't think they've got to look at it. Like that.
Think
it's a fresh start, new season. They've got to look at that City game and say, this puts us ahead of City as favourites.
What Arsenal have got to remember is that last season they did not lose the league title because Chelsea beat them. They lost the league title because they were dropped so many points at silly results.
Well,
and that's the big
beat
thing.
Chelsea at the Emirates.
Exactly. That's the big thing that Arsenal City to remember is that they can go toe to toe with Chelsea on the pitch. They can beat Chelsea on pitch. It's just about the other results they need to sort out. So perhaps we look at City, Leicester, Everton and Chelsea to start the season for Arsenal. Maybe it's the Leicester and Everton games we need to be looking at.
Well, currently trying to give
it's
Chelsea the ball in their own
shambles at the back.
Kafai loses it in there. Here's Nusken. He'll take aim from range. Zinsberger spills it, but there's no one around. She gets away with it. I mean, Arsenal's start to last season was abysmal. They lost to Liverpool and drew with Manchester United. They can't afford to have a similar start to this campaign.
Even if they lose to City, the game against Leicester, second game of the season, is a must win.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's no excuses to drop points there.
But yeah, that's the thing worth noting from last season. The league last year, they didn't lose to Manchester City. They won 2-1 obviously right at the end of the campaign, and they beat them 2-1 in November as well.
Yeah.
So they did the double over City. In the games against Chelsea, they won the game at the Emirates. They lost the game at Stamford Bridge at the end of the campaign.
Exactly.
When Chelsea were pushing for the title.
And Arsenal were giving up.
Yeah, that was right at the end of the season. That was the kicker for Arsenal. They were still in it until that game.
Yeah.
But after that, they've dropped out.
Chelsea...
To be fair, they lost to West Ham.
When Chelsea are running on all cylinders in a Diocel fight, they are unstoppable. And City proved that last year.
Well, I'm back in there again by Nusken. Tries to execute a ball into Beaver Jones. A little bit ambitious. Zinsberger rushing out to clear it. Lawrence. Nice pass into Captain. Ball down the line. Ball into the box. Look at Beaver Jones. Doesn't quite drop in there though for a Chelsea player. And now it will be Arsenal who look to break forward.
Bronze as well, a container and boot. Oh, too soft. Apparently she's won a free kick.
Doesn't
I think that's a let off.
Yeah, and then obviously Arsenal look worse as well because they dropped points to Everton right at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which if you throw in 2 more points, then they're only 3 off Man City and Chelsea.
They should be in the title fight right to the very end, Arsenal. It's as simple as that. If they're not, they've got to be careful because we spoke earlier about all those teams coming through and making improvements. If they do drop off and then slack towards the end of the season, they could find themselves in big trouble.
The other thing to note for Arsenal is their goal difference, because even if you give them 2 points against Everton and one of the games against West Ham or Liverpool you give them a win, you still find them in a situation when they would be third, because while they'd be level on points with both Manchester City and Chelsea, their goal difference is 33 compared to 46 to 53.
Yeah.
They shipped 2 more goals than Chelsea, 5 more than City, and scored 8 less than Manchester City and 18 less than Chelsea. They can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
They need to have more goals in that regard. DAZN have
Got the half-time, hadn't I?
forgot about the half-time break. Hopefully that is a DAZN problem, not an us problem. But, yes, I think Arsenal... It's the first half ending anyway.
So that is the first half.
There we go. Half-time here in Chelsea versus Arsenal. An abrupt end to the half. Do they just not have any half-time? Fantastic.
Right.
Well, there we go. I think. Half-time.
There we go. It's the end.
Here we are. Chelsea versus Arsenal. But yeah, good stuff so far. Good game. Hopefully we see it kick into gear a bit. We need to see some goals, some goal-mouth action at the end of the half. We started to see a few more chances. We saw Ford have one saved well by Musovic, had to rush out and make herself very big. We saw a couple of times where Arsenal were messing up from playing out from the back, and Chelsea would pounce on that and almost create chances. So yeah, they've been in this definitely. Arsenal, Chelsea, I would argue still a little bit rusty. Definitely a little bit rusty. I think Arsenal closer to that full fitness. But it's been a really tight game. Neither side is really going hell for leather, of course. So, you can't read too much into it. But, interesting game so far. I think the more interesting things are what the teams are doing tactically, regarding in possession, out of possession shape, stuff like that. It's interesting to see. Justin says, I don't see Lauren James here. Lauren James is definitely in America. I'm going to look on the team sheet to see if she was named amongst the substitutes tonight, to see if she is involved. Just trying to have a look. So no, Lauren James is not involved in the matchday squad today, which is interesting because I think even players like Myra Ramirez will be back. Does that point towards an injury for Lauren James? I'm not aware of any injury. I'm going to have a quick search to see if there is any news. But yeah, interesting to see her not in the squad. She was pictured at Audi Field, to be fair, but her, Macaro, Cuthbert all missing. Obviously, she played that game against Gotham. We have a lot of players, but yeah, I don't think that she's injured or anything like that. Seems to be alright, just not involved with today's game. But yeah, she is there. It's Justin Williams. She has been spotted at the Audi Field. Not involved though in the matchday squad, who may not be on the sideline or anything like that. Probably a box somewhere. Mr. Big Sis says Ashley Lawrence is crap. How is she still a Chelsea player? I still disagree with you on that one. I still disagree. I don't think she's crap. I don't think any player is crap, to be fair. I don't think she's on the level of Charles, but I think she's a really fine backup. I don't think she's as error prone as you make her out to be, Mr. Big Pierce, if I'm honest. I think that she's still a very reliable and solid backup player, and I mean, there's a reason she's played for some top teams. There's a reason that she still plays for Canada. She is a top player. I think that, yeah, she's probably not. I mean, she's a very good player. I don't mean she's a top player. I wouldn't put her like elite level, but she is still a fairly reliable option. Still someone who can, I think, offer Chelsea a lot. I don't think she's as bad as you make out, Mr. B. Pierce, if I'm honest. I still rate her quite highly, but anyway, good first 45. I think that Chelsea will be quite content with what happened so far. Yes, they've not scored, but they've not conceded either. I would, it's pre-season. Don't like to read into it too much, but we've looked fairly solid. And when Arsenal are probably more match fit, probably more sharp, and we obviously have more importance behind this, it's their last pre-season match. I think that Chelsea should be fairly pleased with how they've done so far. I'm going to take a quick break. Harry, let you give your thoughts on that first 45. And then, yeah, not long until the second half. Good game so far. Interesting stuff. Mr. Vickers has an opinion on Bernabei that you can probably talk about. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've been impressed, I think, by both sides. Both sides in different areas, I feel. Chelsea have looked much sharper and have been really strong in the press and clearly proving that under Sonia Bompastor, Chelsea are going to be very intense, and that's a scary thing for the rest of the teams in the WSL, is a Chelsea side who are going to play with more intensity and are going to press higher and harder. So yeah, I've been very impressed with Chelsea, and Arsenal have cracked under that pressure. Yes, they haven't conceded a goal yet. It is still 0-0. But I think there's a few times where they gave the ball away very cheaply. They were really sloppy in possession, playing out of the back. It wasn't working for Arsenal. Again, we saw it happen last season. Too many errors playing out of the back line. Could let them down again. They need to sort that out going into the new season. But despite that, I think they've looked pretty sharp coming forwards. I've been very impressed with Rosa Kafayi. I think whenever she's got on the ball, she's looked magical. And to be honest, I'm not surprised, because she is that kind of player. You know, when she gets on the ball, every single touch is a positive touch. Everything she does is a good thing, and that's an incredible player to have at your disposal. Is a player that barely puts a foot wrong. And that could be key for Arsenal going forward into this season. A game changer in Rosa Kafayi. In attacking areas, though, I think Arsenal have looked a little blunt, but overall, when they have got the ball down, they can cause Chelsea issues when they want to. Obviously, Mead getting injured in the warm-up is less than ideal, and that will be something that, I mean, despite the fact it was a precaution, Arsenal fans will still be hoping there's nothing wrong going on there. Overall, it has been a decent contest. I think it's been quite a close game. Chelsea have probably been the more intense. Arsenal have probably been a little bit more proactive, I'd say, but that is courtesy of the fact they have got a competitive fixture in 9 days. I think it's a really tough one to call this. It's pre-season. So the result doesn't really matter at the end of the day, and to be honest, I think that a goal is going to come through a good piece of play here, because I don't see any. Neither side's looked keen to score a goal. It is very hot conditions. It is still pre-season, so both sides are still getting up to fitness. No one's full guns blazing. No one here is firing on all cylinders. They're nowhere near it. Which is a very exciting prospect going forward for the league campaign, is that both these sides have got a lot of gears to find, but both teams still gelling. You can see where the moves start to break down, with the newer players in each team. But they're adjusting, they'll get used to it, and I'm sure eventually we will see these two sides battling it out. I don't know what's going on the table, sorry. These sides battling it out in the WSL. We've seen some. I think that was the biggest chance of the game, where Bright played the ball back to Musovic. Musovic played it straight into Russo. It deflected and bounced up to Ford, who was pounced on quickly by Musovic. Ford does get the shot away, but Musovic saved it from very close proximity. There was another one where McCabe was fanning around with it in the middle. She gets dispossessed, and then Nusken takes a shot from range. Doesn't really trouble Zinsberger. I mean, she does end up dropping it and spilling it, but luckily no one was there to pounce. So realistically, I think we haven't seen too many clear-cut chances. I mean, the only person to score a goal on this pitch today has been Gunnosaurus, which speaks volumes. The only of how that first half went, but it's pre-season. Both sides are rusty. Both sides are ironing out a few issues here and there. I'm sure as this game goes on, they're going to look better. Even if we don't get a goal, it should still be a decent second half. A lot to discuss going forward into the new season. A lot to see how these two sides are going to go as the games get deeper. Who's going to look the fittest? Who's going to look the strongest? Who can keep going for the full 90 minutes? It's going to be very interesting to see how it's all going to develop. So definitely don't go anywhere. This is what pre-season's about. It's a chance to discuss and analyse how each side is looking and who looks the strongest going into the next campaign. So it feels it's a very important step on the path to success for both these sides. So there's definitely a big 45 coming up, and there will just be an edge. If either side can find a goal, there will just be that competitive edge that, to get a win on the board against your rivals is a step in the right direction.
Well, it shifts the discourse, doesn't it? In the media.
Yeah.
If Arsenal win this, there'll probably be a video on the Women's Football Chat YouTube channel come Wednesday called "Whoa, Arsenal beat Chelsea. What does this mean for the title?" So it definitely shifts the discourse. It definitely means that a lot more people will be saying, what if Arsenal are right up there? And I think that's what Arsenal want this season. They want to be considered as title challengers. They want that pressure. They need to get used to it, because that is the pressure they're under. They should be right up there.
Yeah, I think it's not that it's a crazy statement to say that they should be in the title fight. It's just that we've got so used to not seeing them up there come the end of the season. And that's their problem.
The last 2 years in particular, last season they were right up there for a fair bit. I remember recording a video around, was it November?
Can't remember.
When they beat Chelsea at the Emirates. And obviously that put them joint top. And we were like, oh, 3-horse race now. Everyone's right up there.
Yeah.
And then they went and lost to Tottenham next week. But it's just, can Arsenal be that consistent? Because that was the perfect moment. The fact that they beat Chelsea, they'd broken right up into that title fight. They just had to see out. They just had to beat Tottenham, who they've never lost to before, and they'd be top of the league going into the break. And then they lost that game.
Their problem is, they dropped points to half the league. But to Tottenham, to West Ham, to United, to Liverpool, to Everton.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough. Leicester, I think, were in there as well. You can't
did
drop
the double over Man City and beat Chelsea. So
you can't drop that many points in a season as Arsenal and hope to get away with it. Because I don't think especially the problem for Arsenal as well is they have to raise their game. I don't see Chelsea or City slipping. I'd be surprised if either one of them slipped. I'd be shocked if they both dropped, and that's the problem. Is even if say Chelsea aren't if Chelsea drop off due to the fact that Hayes is gone, City will still be there. Undoubtedly, City will still be there. So it's hard to tell for Arsenal. The simple as it.
Not undoubtedly, they don't have Khadija Shaw to start the season.
Yeah. Oh, but Vivian Miedemar, I think I'll be alright.
They might be. Who knows? They might not be.
I think it's simple as Arsenal have to raise their game to be in the fight. If not, they'll just be nowhere near again.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
It will be. And maybe they can win this game tonight and take a little boost from it going into Rangers in 9 days' time.
Weird question, but I just want a split decision judgment call. If I had a call right now who's going to win City Arsenal, who'd you say?
On the opening season?
Opening day of the season. Sunday.
I haven't seen City play yet.
That is true. That's what I said. Split decision. Judgment call.
Arsenal. And that's different.
That's interesting.
Because last season, I think I would have said City.
Even though Arsenal beat them both times.
Yeah. Although even though City lost out in the league on goal difference, it's so many factors into it. It's just surprising. But yeah,
I would argue right now, with Shaw and Rord out to start the season, Arsenal have no excuses not to beat Man City.
Definitely so.
And then they put City on the back foot, and obviously I know they play Chelsea in match week 4, but for me, Arsenal shouldn't. They should win that game.
Yeah.
Even if they lose to Chelsea, they're not going. I don't think they should drop any other points. They should still be level with City.
Yeah.
And if they beat Chelsea, they're top of the league, and that could be huge.
Yeah. Second half then. Obviously, we're going to see quite a healthy rotation. You'd expect in both sides.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised to see not any changes. And see whether it's wholesale for Chelsea or Arsenal. But either way, we're going to see a bit of rotation and hopefully a good chance to see more players impress. Hopefully
so. And are there any changes at the break?
Well, Chelsea are coming out. There's 3 players there that started the game. That looked like Niamh Charles in the background. But no, Captain and Hermano definitely hold their place. Charles has come on.
And the armband, which means it's not Millie Bright.
That is true, yes. But yeah, so Chelsea mixing a few things up. Find out who they are shortly.
Cannon is back out for the second half, though.
Yep.
I would be surprised. So Sandy Baltimore out for Chelsea, out onto the left wing. Or coming in for Chelsea.
Yeah, very exciting player. Perisset also entering the field.
So then I'd assume a centre-half change, unless we're putting Bronze back there again to experiment with that further. I'd be surprised if there's no goalkeeper change. So that's Bjorn. So yeah, Bjorn on for Bright. Couple change then for Chelsea. Presumably Arsenal will stay the same, right? They've got a game coming up. They need to play as many minutes as possible, really. See if they've got 90 in the tank.
So yeah, Ingle, Baltimore,
Unfortunately, 7.
Bjorn, Charles, Perisset, all coming off
So a number of
Chelsea.
changes. Wrighton staying on though, so that'll be either her or Baltimore on the right flank then. Identical Arsenal team.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't see Musovic.
I don't see a goalkeeper.
No.
No goalkeeper. Don't bother.
That's Southampton.
That
There
is
we go.
yeah. So a lot of changes for Chelsea as they are still prepping.
Yeah.
Arsenal sticking with 11 who need the fitness. Should be very interesting. Not quite sure what's going on here.
Neither. I feel like we've all got to pledge allegiance to the flag.
I mean, both managers still on the pitch. We're trying to get a second half underway.
Maybe they're playing. That'd be fun.
Oh, Chelsea got to confirm all their changes on the board. What is the point in that? But yeah, it's Chelsea mixing things up, as you'd expect. And now they got to go back into their huddle. But yeah.
Should be interesting.
Definitely. You just want to get the second half underway.
Yeah.
Not sure I go right. I don't know what she was doing. Just sat in the middle of the
I was
huddle.
going to say, I thought she was leading it, but I could see Neve Charles talking as well, so maybe she's doing her laces.
Maybe.
Or sitting down.
Needs a rest already. Well, a second 45 for either side to lay a finger on each. I don't know.
Justin says, just realised I don't know their numbers that well. Is that Hannah Hampton? Not sure. It definitely is Hannah Hampton in goal. Coming on from Musovic, number 24, Hannah Hampton. We are back underway
Yes,
in
we
this
are.
game. We just cut to it suddenly.
Yeah.
There we go, Buchanan. Back to Hampton. So, we're going to have a confirmation for the next 20 minutes of all the subs. Ball forwards. Finds Aggie Beaver Jones. Touch out wide to Wrighton, but it's cut out. Zinsberger puts it up in the air. So yeah, as a confirmation, Chelsea's team to start second half is Hannah Hampton in goal, a back four of Perisset, Buchanan, Bjorn and Charles. In the midfield it is Ingle and Captain. On the left hand side it's Wright, on the right hand side Baltimore. Hermano continues in attacking midfield, and it's Aggie Beaver Jones to lead the line.
Quite a few changes
So
there.
I believe 5 subs for Chelsea.
Makes sense.
6 subs for Chelsea.
Yeah, they're still coming through.
Here, ball through from Arsenal to Hannah Hampton. Hampton going for the sleeveless option, a vest. Just roll the sleeves up, they don't offer a vest
Yeah.
for goalkeepers, or any players indeed.
Nah. No, they should.
Yeah? Is that something you'd be on board with? How do you then dictate handball?
Yeah. Maybe
Because
don't-
obviously you get immense clarity from the
Yeah.
shirt line.
maybe don't do that.
You never have a situation in football where you can't dictate, where you can't work out handball, do you?
No.
Never any controversy there.
Hmm.
Baltimore tries to win it back.
Do you know what's happened to Buchanan there?
Right, Buchanan, yeah.
She's won the ball and then fallen over and hurt herself.
Always a worrying sign. Charles, Bjorn. Back to Neve Charles. Charles has the line to utilise with Wrighton there. Tries to use Wrighton. Kuhl comes across and can see to throw, but stops Wrighton progressing. Guro Wrighton trying to come forward to the ball now. And that is a lacklustre cross. Amano will fight though to go and get the ball, try to put it into the box. Falls to Baltimore, who strikes it home. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1, and Sandy Baltimore with her first goal in blue strikes home against Arsenal. It was a lacklustre cross into the box. Hermano fought really well to keep it alive, managed to put an unorthodox ball into the box. Baltimore then, it's set up nicely for her, and she struck it home. First goal for Chelsea, coming against their bitter rivals Arsenal.
Yeah, good work from Chelsea. All the credit has to go to Hermano here, fighting to win the ball back and managing to shuffle it
It's just a
through
bit
to
of a
Baltimore.
switch off, really,
Yeah,
from Kim
really
Little in there.
Lazy from Arsenal. Defensively, just they think the ball's
They
dead. They're
outnumber
not
Chelsea by
bothering.
about double here.
Yeah. Baltimore's just poor from Catley in there as well. Arsenal completely shut down. Baltimore, great finish.
Yeah.
Chelsea lead.
Yeah, Little gets caught out by Hermano in there. Wasn't expecting someone to be pressing. Hermano did well. It comes off of a
Zinsberg's catching dust.
Yeah, it comes off Weinreich.
Yeah.
Just sort of spins inside. Then it's Catley who can't deal with it. Drops to Baltimore nicely. Who volleys home past Zinsberger, who, as you say, didn't look set.
Always good for a new player to score, even if it is pre-season. Just to find a scoring form in a new shirt is always a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
And Chelsea starting the second half very well.
Ball forwards headed away. Ingle to Charles. Ingle. Now Bjorn. Back to back to Hampton. Even I'm forgetting all the subs they made.
Yeah.
Bjorn. Charles. Actually, can't quite keep that in play. That's an Arsenal throw-in. Cool, we'll let Weinreich come and take it.
Yeah, poor from Arsenal again. Sloppy throw. Chelsea will have the ball back from their own throw-in. Well defended by Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bit more a stronger Chelsea 11 now, you feel.
Well, here come Arsenal. Yeah, I guess Charles is an upgrade. Bjorn and Bright, I think the difference is marginal at best. I think Nuskin's probably better than Ingle, but Ingle props up the midfield better. If it suits the role better. Who else have they changed? Baltimore for Canarides,
I guess
downgrade.
it's like for like, isn't it?
It's
really?
fairly like for like.
Yeah.
Chelsea have great squad quality.
Yeah. It's
Shock.
fresh legs, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's giving everyone minutes. I think against Feyenoord we might see it be a bit more of a proper game.
Yeah.
Where you know, you'll
Yeah.
leave the subs towards the end of the match. Not make 11 of them, possibly. Buchanan. Plays our wide captain. But yeah, captain's played, I think, the most minutes of anyone in pre-season.
Yes.
Which I guess makes sense, because obviously she didn't play any internationals, whereas everyone else played at least the autumn internationals, if not the
Yeah.
Olympics. Or sorry, the summer internationals, if not the Olympics.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's not been involved in the squad before as well, so she's someone that would need to get those minutes, that experience in the first team.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's played a lot.
Good, right, and quite well bounced there. She apologises, but she looks stunned as to how that ball has bounced up off the surface.
Yeah. Obviously, 20 minutes left. I think with about 20 minutes left, we might start to see some other players. I think we will see, hopefully, Moira Ramirez, hopefully Lexi Potter.
Yeah, I mean, get as many subs as we want.
I don't think we're going to make another goalkeeper change. Well, yeah, I think there's 11 because it's a friendly. You can make as many you want, but I can't remember who's on the bench. Oh, Wardlaw as well we could see involved. Lucy Watson, another one we could see involved.
Yes.
Bernard Bay, obviously we've changed left back now, so it's unlikely. So yeah. I expect to see a couple of those get involved in this game.
God, great tackle that is from...
Captain, man.
Yes, Captain. I was trying to think of a name. Looked like Nuskin. No, it wasn't Nuskin.
Vika Captain, I'm not sure.
Very good player nonetheless, and I'm hopefully she'll be involved a lot for Chelsea this season.
Yeah, she looks a decent player from what I've seen in pre-season. Obviously, pre-season's no certain indication, but it does give you some 4 or 5 there.
If Bompastor backs her, then I do, to be honest.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, she's got one hell of an eye for talent.
It's interesting to see we've not seen Julia Bartel or Francois. I know Francois has still come back from injury. I'd have to assume that Bartel is also not fully fit.
I don't know, did Bartel travel with the team? I don't know if she's on at all.
I'm not sure.
Either way, you'd expect her to be involved.
Yeah.
Ball poked out to Hermano. She's looked good tonight.
Hamano, yeah.
Oh, really good feet. Does run it off though, and that will be a Arsenal goal kick.
Yeah. It's been good from Chelsea. Also, that goal for Baltimore, the difference maker so far. Not that that's vitally important, but it is a nice. You want to beat Arsenal in every game possible.
Yeah.
Pre-season matters the least, but it's a game you want to set precedent for.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what they're doing. That's what champions do, though. Even these slight games, they get that advantage. They get ahead.
Yeah.
And you might not think it matters, but it might come to the end of it might at some point.
Yeah, 37 minutes, by the way, left in this one. If you haven't got involved in the live chat yet, make sure to do so. Feel free to give your thoughts on anything we're talking about, anything that's happening in the game, all that sort of stuff. Do get involved. But yeah. Bjorn. Now it's Hampton. Nice ball from Engel into Bjorn. Now it's Hampton. Bjorn. Now Charles tries to play it forwards through the legs of Weinreuther. That's a bit messy there. Charles just assumed that had gone for a throw. Williamson trying to keep it alive. So Charles is already going to go and take a throw.
Yeah.
And Williamson just went flying in to try with the ball. Free kick for Chelsea.
No, throw.
Okay.
Ref couldn't make her mind that, I think.
Sure. Here's Charles. Bjorn. Hampton under a bit of pressure here, but plays out nicely. Wrighton heads on encouragingly. Williamson does well to deal with that. That was a bit of a difficult header to get up to. Head away comfortably.
Hamano battling well again, falls to Baltimore.
Baltimore. Now Engel. Yeah, so Baltimore very comfortable on either flank is a very useful trait to have.
Yes.
There is a lot of competition for places this season. We know how good James is on the left flank. We could see it through the middle as well, but
yes, mentally,
there are so many good players.
A player we haven't really seen in pre-season that much.
Well, James played the first half of Gotham, didn't she?
Yeah.
Then obviously she came off at the break, and we haven't seen her at all today, and we won't see her at all today. You would expect final on the 7th is a game that she will be involved in, but yeah.
But I don't mind it. Bompastor knows how good she is. She doesn't need to see her in pre-season.
Well, I think that is very much the case. With Wrighton, there's a lot to be proven. She wasn't great last season. With James, she's had a lot of injury. Had a few injury concerns towards the end of last season over the summer.
Yeah.
She missed the Summer Internationals with England as well, so there's been a few injuries there. No need to rush her back into loads of football.
Exactly. When
we've still got a month into the WSL season, she'll play the final game. She'll be involved in pre-season, and then obviously behind closed doors matches and stuff like that. So yeah, nothing to worry about, I don't think.
Yeah. No, spot on. Hamano come forward again. That's a great tackle from Catley. Little battling hard. Hamano battling hard, battling too hard, and concedes a free kick. Yeah, still a pretty even game. Both sides still in with a shout. But Chelsea having the lead and probably playing the better stuff over the course of the 57 minutes. Bompastor is bound to be happy with what she's seen. I think across both games she's going to be happy. Arsenal looking for a way back into it then.
Yeah, I think Bompastor will be relatively pleased. We're not troubled at all by Arsenal today, and Arsenal gave Washington Spirit, who are a strong team, a very difficult game. They won that match, obviously. So I think there will be a lot of confidence in this Chelsea camp after this one. Yeah,
definitely so. Keeping the good times rolling is Chelsea.
Again, don't read too much into pre-season, but positive signs.
Yeah.
Bjorn into Charles. Captain, lovely switch of the play. Just looking to come forwards now. Perisset. into Baltimore.
Battling hard,
Battling, ultimately conceding a free kick there.
Don't mind it. But like you say, it's that positive clarification that you are still you're still playing very well. Winning these games it's good motivation.
Yeah.
As a football player, you never want to lose any game, whether it's a cup final or whether it's pre-season. I mean, obviously, cup final is
a five-a-side friendly.
Yeah, cup final, we're probably going to care about a bit more, but still,
You'd like to think there might be a bit more preparation than a kick out of the park, but
yes,
I do get your point. Players want to win, winners want to win. I think there might be a few winners in this Chelsea squad.
Maybe, just a few.
New charts. Pure. It's more about proving that, the tactics are there, they're working for Bompastor, they're working against OSL opposition.
Yeah.
It's good. Again, we've got 2 months till this game happens.
Yeah.
For real in the WSL.
Crazy.
Could be a very different story though.
Feels like it could be so long away, but it's really not. It's not right around the corner, but it's coming up soon.
Yeah. About 7-8 weeks till that Chelsea Arsenal game?
It was 2 months
49
mid-season.
days.
That's crazy.
And that's match week 4, of course, the WSL season.
Yeah. Wow. Games coming thick and fast over the next couple of months as we are into full swing in the domestic season.
Yeah.
Brilliant to see. Rousseau loses it. Kafai just does so well.
Little. Now Cooney cross. Here come Arsenal. Ford looking to come inside. It's going to fall in there to Kim. Little movement. Finds Kafai. Who keeps that in just about. Arguably, the ref argues otherwise.
Don't know why Little just need to get a shot away.
Yeah. Change now, and that is number 19 for Arsenal. Making way, which is of course Caitlin Ford. And on her place, number 8, Mariona Caldente. This is interesting.
It is. There's a couple of changes coming for Arsenal as well.
Now, the very interesting thing we've seen in this first half is that Caitlin Ford's been used to keep the width on that left-hand side, while on the right-hand side, we've seen a bit of inverting and obviously the overlapping of Weinreifer. Very interesting to see whether they change that now, because Caldente coming onto this left-hand side, someone who likes to sort of drift inside, occupy very central areas. For me, it would make more sense to invert the right back into a situational back 3, because I think Fox is more comfortable in that role, and send Katie McCabe flying up to left wing.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see what they do. They might use Caldente to hold the way. Mano on for Kafai then as well, and Catley I think came off as well.
Yeah, both centre halves came off. Yeah.
Oh, Williamson for who?
Reed.
Oh yeah, of course. So I assume with Moyes out then for the start of the season.
Yeah.
So I've not seen her in pre-season.
No. Neither. Buchanan. Baltimore. Good turn. Dispossessed though. And back with Kadina. Zinsberger to Reed, who had a decent tournament for the young Lionesses out in Lithuania at the start of the summer. Dispossessed there is Caldente. Chelsea throw. Perisic plays a nice one to Hermano. Looking for Baltimore. It's a bit messy, but it is one back by Manham, and here she is on the ball. Manham to Caldente. It's good football. Can't quite find the ball to Russo though. Good pressure from Manham, and that is out for a Chelsea goal kick. Change come for Chelsea then. That is Myra Ramirez, and that is Bernabe coming on. So Guro Wrighton will be replaced by Alejandra Bernabe. Ramirez is coming on, and so is Wardlaw.
Okay, so
And
Charles
so,
to left wing? Bernabeu to left wing?
potentially, and so is Potter.
Potter as well. These are the changes we'd like to see.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little later, but it's
And
not an issue.
someone else.
It's a torn plantar fascia. For even more, by the way. Just finding out.
And
She's expected to be back to full fitness by now. But isn't.
So lots of changes for Chelsea.
So Hermano off as well. So Potter on for captain, and Watson as well. One of those will go into attack midfield. Probably Lexi Potter. Like Watson. It looks like Watson. Charlotte Ward-Law on as well.
Maybe.
For Buchanan at centre half.
So now you've got Hampton, then I don't know. I need to.
Perisset, Ward-Law, Bjorn, Charles.
Ingles in the back line.
No,
She pushed on now.
she's just dropping in.
So Baltimore's gone to
Baltimore's
midfield.
attack midfielder.
Watson's
Bernabeu on the
right.
left hand side, Watson on the right hand side, Potter in the pivot with Ingle, and Ramirez obviously in the line. So good stuff.
Yeah, and then Wardlaw comes in centre half with Bjorn.
Yes.
Right. Quite a few changes. Got to keep on top of them all. That's what we want to see in pre-season. Last leg of the American tour for both these sides. It's just about giving players some minutes.
Justin Williams was giving us a sub spoiler. We didn't notice it anyway. Sorry, Justin. So you're all right there. Spoiler of one sub. Oh my god, it's really Maya.
Great to see her back out on the pitch.
Yeah.
Absolute brute. Brilliant for Colombia at the Olympics.
Well, she had the red card, which was
She did.
interesting.
But apart from that, she had a great tournament. Scored a goal in the
It's
opener.
like one hell of an apart from that.
Yeah, scored a goal in the opener, then got sent off in the second game, and then scored against Spain in the quarters, no, in the semis.
Of course, before they dubbed out.
Yes, of course, yes. So yeah, a decent tournament for her. It was short-lived, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, well, this is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Now, Charles, Bjorn, Ingle, Charles. Nice link up. This is the time where you start to see like the ideas and philosophies fall apart a little bit because, you know, players don't know the role they're playing and you've got young players who don't perform, not badly obviously, but they, you know, that knowledge, that tactical understanding is going to be a little lower.
Yeah, of course.
So you do start to see mistakes happen. Wardlaw caught out there. Rousseau. Sorry, Bjorn caught out there. Rousseau's run off the field though.
I think she just what the pitch was.
So he seemed to, yeah. Didn't look up.
No, not at all.
I know she did look up. That was her issue.
Yeah.
She looks across to see if there's any options, then runs out of road.
Because she's been deceived by the fact there's grass behind the goal, behind the pitch. I mean, it's bizarre.
That's quite normal, no?
Not that much grass. Or there's something there. There's nothing there.
It's because they play other sports, so I'm guessing.
There's nothing there apart from the line that signals that
Do
the
they
pitch
play
ends.
football?
I don't know, maybe.
No, that wouldn't be. This wouldn't be big enough. Anyway, nowhere near big enough.
Like you have like an advertising thing on the ground or something.
They'd
There's
need
a
another
marker.
20 yards
Mm.
each side plus space, so no, it wouldn't be big enough. And they probably wouldn't thing up. This is Washington Spirit's home ground anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like a multi-purpose stadium or something like that.
No.
Charles tries to work forwards. Ramirez holds on to it nicely. Uses her body well, fighting for the ball. She's robbed her possession, but she's going to go hound Cadena for it.
She just bullies people. It's brilliant.
Good cross. Cadena. McCabe. Back to Cadena. Reed. Here is Zinsberger. I think we're seeing, obviously you don't want to make any big assumptions off pre-season, but you're seeing Arsenal be a little blunt,
Yeah.
in attack, a little devoid of creativity in attacking areas, which you thought would be fixed with Calante. I know she's not played this full game, but also with Kafai. That's not really materialised just yet. And a little bit of defensive fragility. Small error capitalised on quickly by a Chelsea attack that haven't been at 100% at all today. So we're seeing the same sort of things we saw last season with Arsenal, where everything is it's just not quite clicking.
I think Kafai's looks sharp, but it's the pass after Kafai. She does the good bit, lays it off, and then it breaks down.
Well, even so, she's not creating opportunities. She's doing, nice little stuff, but where's it actually going? It's nice to watch.
I think it's that pass afterwards. She does the right bit. It gets them 15 yards up the pitch, but as soon as they get anywhere near on goal...
so, it's not like she's driven into an area to have a shot or, a shot creating action. She's just... She makes a nice move, and then just lays it off to someone. Or it's...
That's what I mean.
Her run's not really gone anywhere.
She does the run, but then it's the bit afterwards that just has Arsenal have nothing.
Yeah. Their final ball hasn't really come off. Russo touched it to Cure. Cure goes wide into Vine. Roy Fisher will be hard pressed to get there, and she won't get there. Very hard pressed.
And for me, again, there is why she looks like she's going to get there, and so the ball just runs away.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 minutes to go. Chelsea looking comfortable. And no, we're not even complaining how this first 70 minutes is gone. Even the rotation that's come on has looked pretty solid for Chelsea. Obviously the core is still, first team players, but...
Here is Lexi Potter, feeds a ball through. Watson fights for it, but isn't going to get there. It's smashed out by Zinsberger to Perisset. Ingle Perisset. Now Wardlaw. Wardlaw's someone for me who's surprised me how comfortable she's looked.
Yeah.
Whenever she's been on the ball, whenever she's been in a physical confrontation, she's looked okay.
Yeah, 100%.
She's not looked out of her depth, which I think for me is huge praise for her.
Yeah.
Done really well, but yeah, let's just see what her pathway to the first team looks like. Whether she will get how many minutes she will get for Chelsea this summer.
Yeah,
this season. Sorry. So has had a fair few this summer. Could she be involved in the first team at some point?
Hopefully so.
I imagine she'll still be involved with the development squad for the majority of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if she got some cut minutes. Well, I guess that we enter in the knockout series. That's brilliant from Watson. That hasn't left the field.
Hard to tell from here.
I saw it.
Okay.
Absolute lies.
But yeah, Bompastor will be hoping Chelsea hold on. At least.
What can't hold on though is her earpiece slipping out of her ear.
Yeah, it's just like...
Nice little segue.
Not quite what she needs. And it's something we see a lot more nowadays, isn't it? The managers with the earpiece in to avoid having to go back to their benches to have a chat. They can stay up on the touchline while still getting fed information, while still talking to their assistants. Means they have to shout what their tactics across the area, but they have to jog back every time to get them.
Weinreither. Read. Also means you can have data analysts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In remote locations, you don't need to have them sat on the bench.
No. Not at all. Better from Arsenal. Can they do something with this now, though? Maybe. But again, they've been shuffled backwards.
Arsenal trying to come forwards. Karakuni cross.
Just trying to build something up.
Kyo tries to come forwards, can't quite. Charles smashes it clear.
It's not bad from Arsenal, it's just not brilliant. Which is okay for pre-season. You're not expecting brilliant from minute one, but there's signs that they can, if they iron out a few problems and tweak a few things, there's signs that Arsenal can cause some problems going into next season. So we'll see how that develops. Can they find a goal to level this up?
Yeah, that's what they'll be hoping to do in the next 15 minutes. Well, just over that, and additional time, of course. Is Washington Spirit's ground just like loads of puns on the fact they're called Washington Spirit?
I noticed that's the Spirit.
That's the Spirit. I'm hoping that they have a bar called Here's the Spirits.
Yes,
that would be good. That's a big mistake in there from Chelsea, but Arsenal can't take advantage of it.
Wow, how was that not punished? Neve Charles.
That's a silly one for me. That had to go.
Yeah, not quite sure what she tries to do with the ball, but gets away with that.
Trying to think of all the spirit-based puns they could have.
Yeah.
If they had an exorcist room.
Yeah.
Find a spirit.
Yeah.
Meditation room. Find your spirit.
Spirit level-headed.
What?
Spirit level-headed.
Yeah. You could have.
But I mean, Washington's back from Charles. Is it Charles? Oh, I mean, she's sold short by the pass back to her from who is that? Watson?
I'm not sure what Charles has done there.
What's the pass back? The pass back's on her feet.
Alright.
Again, another thing that frustrates me is captain's holding the armband.
Charles holding the armband?
Yeah, she's trying to put it on and it keeps sliding down, so now she's holding it. She's put it back on now. Yeah. But she was holding it in that exchange.
Well, it's made for Millie Bright's arm.
That is a good point.
Huge bicep.
That's a massive.
So Chelsea will win this league. I don't see anyone breaking down this midfield.
I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Well, to a certain extent, I agree, because I don't think that City have got Hasegawa, who's a brilliant midfielder, but she's not really someone who breaks teams down, and they don't have Jill Ward, who does. That's a big loss to me. I don't think that as good as Park is in attacking areas, as good as the Flossang Cordell as well now, haven't they?
Yeah.
She's gone Real Madrid, hasn't she?
I think so,
Real Madrid just building a fantastic ex-WSL midfield.
Which works.
Yeah, but who else plays in midfield for City this season?
They'll work it out.
Will they?
Yeah.
Who would you have in there?
Park, Hasegawa and Coombs.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They've got more midfielders than that.
Well, Blind-Kilder?
Yeah, very good player.
They can use Miedemar in there?
Doubt it.
She played time midfield last season.
Yeah, which didn't really work, did it?
True.
But I think Blind-Kilder's a very good player. Obviously signing from Villa in January.
But she not... is a midfield with her and Park not completely unbalanced, though?
Like, we're not playing together, but...
But who else goes in there? Coombs?
Yeah.
For me, that's not... WSL... Like, if we're talking about
they've
them
got
against Chelsea and Arsenal...
4 or 5 weeks. I'm sure they'll bring someone in if they need to.
Guess we'll see. And for Arsenal, I mean, I spoke earlier, but I don't think Valti's I think she's good, but I don't think she's at the elite level.
Speaking of, she just came on.
She has just come on for Cara Cooney-Cross. I think Arsenal are massively missing Palova because I think she's a top quality player. I think Cara Cooney-Cross has a lot of potential, and this season's got to be big for her. But more going forwards, Chelsea have options left or right. She goes right.
Oh, blimey.
Watson would be hard pressed to win that. She does manage to keep it in play, though. Her touch that down a little, but she keeps it in. Up against Caldente on this right-hand side, and Caldente wins it back and wins a throw.
Yeah, poor ball there from Baltimore really sold her short.
Yeah, made it very difficult for Watson to do anything with that.
Baltimore's had a good second half though when she came on at half time. Scored the goal, that separates the two sides. Still 12 minutes to play here. Can Arsenal find a response. Who knows?
Zinsberger. Reed. Flicked on by Russo. Charles back to goalkeeper Hampton. Long ball forwards. Baltimore will give chase. And it's knocked out by Lea Cadena.
Well managed by Arsenal. I think they responded well to going a goal down.
Yeah. Big season for Cadena, I'm up in. I don't think she obviously came from Barcelona. One that you would expect to come in and offer real quality for Arsenal. But she didn't settle incredibly well.
No.
Obviously, the Ruben Moy-Williamson partnership, which I don't think is ultimately their most effective partnership, played more minutes.
Yeah. Who should most effective partnership?
I just don't think Ruben Moy and Williamson complement each other. I think they're too similar.
Fair enough.
I think they're both really good at picking out those long passes, but they don't suit each other. I think Cadena in there alongside Williamson is more balanced.
Yeah, makes sense.
But that's very difficult to justify benching Ruben Moy.
Yeah, she was brilliant last season.
She was brilliant in the absence of Williamson. But
yeah, definitely.
With Williamson back, it's interesting to see what Ivar does this season in the centre half. And Ruben Moy's not played any pre-season yet. So I don't think she's definitely not going to play Rangers. Russo's in. Can she score?
Got to cut it back.
Right at Hannah Hampton. Good save from the Chelsea goalkeeper.
It's not a bad effort. Probably should have looked up and cut it back, but she didn't know. It's a shot on target. It's not bad centre forward play. It's what she's looking to do. Chelsea just dispossessed heart of the pitch.
That's an excellent ball.
Yeah.
That is an absolutely brilliant ball by Mariona Caldente, by the way. And yeah, Russo's got to be less selfish there. It's not a big issue in pre-season. I don't mind players taking a shot, but
No.
look across. Russo's been a bit blinkers on today.
Yeah.
A bit like a horse, just
Yep.
running in on goal, not really looking at her options. The one time she did, she ended up forgetting that she was running off the pitch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's not the best game of her career, but yeah, Arsenal, there's still that disjointedness, and I think that will be a concern. But it is pre-season; these issues will be ironed out as they face Rangers on Wednesday,
Yeah.
the 3rd of September. Obviously, the bigger question, then if they win that, which they should, they will of course play on Saturday the 7th as well.
Yes.
Which will be interesting to see. Obviously, Chelsea play final that day, so we will definitely be live, whether it is for watching the Chelsea final friendly, which we probably won't be because they're probably only going to put it on Chelsea TV, and I'm not paying the £5 to watch it. They might put it on for free. And then there's a possibility that Arsenal are playing in the Champions League.
Yes, we see. They'll hope they are.
Here's Alessia Russo again. Can she look to have a shot? She's taken wide by Bjorn, takes aim, but it's over the bar. Yeah, Russo's been trying desperately to get a goal. Obviously, she was very effective in the Washington Spirit game, got a couple of goals, but just not been so tonight. Not really had the opportunities, to be fair.
Yeah, trying to score a screamer really from there. If that had gone in, it'd been something special.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It wasn't far away, to be fair.
No, I swear, no, not at all. It's one of those. The angle is ridiculously tight, but not bad play to try and take on Bjorn. 8 to go. Then, what can Chelsea do just to see this game through?
Paul Passer getting in there from Wardlaw. Valti. Pass across into Katarine Kuhl. Here's Weinreuther. Reed. Now a pass across to Lea Cadena. Trying to pick out Alessia Russo. Bjorn does really well just to see her out there, and that's out for a Chelsea goal kick.
Yeah, again, just a bit scuffed there from Russo. But yeah, this friendly coming to a close. The time in the USA for both these clubs coming to an end as well. Decent trip for both sides. valuable information learnt.
What does it mean when it says, because they keep putting up this little thing where you can, like, if you vote for your player of the match, you have a chance to win tickets to Arsenal versus Chelsea. What does that mean?
What do you mean?
Well, they're
You
saying
vote
tickets.
and you win tickets.
Yeah, but to what?
The game.
What, at the Emirates?
I suppose so, yeah.
In a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, probably.
Funny if it's just for Arsenal. If they've already planned out they're going to play next year in the US. Yeah. Scan this and you have to come to the US next year. Weinreuter. Here's Reed. Nice pass from Vouty into Cadena. Now back to Cadena. Bounce one off Vouty.
Both sides just managing.
Yeah. Caldente looks for an option, can't find one, and it's put down in there. So a free kick now. The McCabe-Caldente link-up is going to be difficult to commentate over because they look remarkably similar. And when they're on the opposite side of the pitch, you can't see their number. But it will be interesting to see how those two work together. Because obviously we expect to see McCabe overlapping, Caldente drifting inside.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see whether that does work. And getting McCabe into more advanced areas can surely only be a positive thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think as we saw for the USA, Fox is very suited to that situational back three role. The big question mark for me is what this means for Beth Mead. Because I don't think Beth Mead is a hug the touchline type of winger.
Not bad if that's
It's
from
really
Caldente.
good in there from Wardlaw, though, just to head that away.
Yeah. 5 to play. I'm sure Arsenal fans would love to nick a draw from this. Yep. Crafty header that from Wardlaw. Another chance for Arsenal from the corner. Ballsky swung in, looking to score late on here. Save everyone, and Bjorn will deal with it. Even if it does go out for an Arsenal throw again. More changes.
Changes afoot.
For the
That
Gunners.
is Vivian Leah.
Another player who enjoyed a really good campaign for the Young Lionesses.
Yeah, I think she showed glimpses in that. On for Catherine Kuehl, then on this right hand side.
So Potter and Reed were both part of that same team.
Yeah, there's such hype around Vivian Leah. I feel she's got I do worry Arsenal are resting too much of their hopes on her. I think she's a really good, seems to be a really talented young player, but there seems to be quite a lot of pressure on her at the moment. A lot of people expecting big things from her. Reed, Leah. Nice footwork. Finds Weinreuter inside. McCabe. Caldente. Nice exchange with Little. Caldente coming inside. Finds Russo. Takes a touch. Has a strike. It's blocked again. And Watson sends something from Ramirez to chase. And Cadena can get it back to goalkeeper Zinsberger with no issues.
Yeah, looks like Chelsea will just see this out in a very smart fashion
Yeah.
and start the season strongly.
Ball slid in behind for Russo. She gets to the wrong side of Bjorn. Tries to cut it back. Bjorn does well, and that's out for an Arsenal corner. Chelsea defending valiantly at the end here.
Well, that's the thing, Arsenal want the point, don't they?
They want to prove
Not
they
the
can
point,
score
sorry, the draw.
against Chelsea.
Even just that tiny edge that could give you something at the end of the day. 'Cause even the fans, even if it doesn't mean much to the team, the fans will run away. The fans run to the hills with it. Which you don't blame them at all. Only 2 minutes, it would be quite a nice feeling, you'd feel, to score. balls will be put into the box, though. They're going to load it up.
Ball in, punched away by Hampton. Leah puts it towards goal. Wide of the
Yeah,
bar.
good punch. Not a bad header from Leah either. Try and keep it alive. Really not going to trouble anyone, though. And as time runs away from them, Chelsea just look to hold on to their lead. Nothing adventurous. A solid lead they built. And not a bad result it would be against another very difficult opponent. For Arsenal, obviously all eyes will be turned to the game in 9 days against Rangers. Must win in the Champions League.
Yeah, they want to be in the proper, as we spoke about earlier. They want to be there competing. They want to play in the group stage, getting into the knockouts, testing themselves against the heavyweights in Europe. They've got to qualify first.
Yeah, it doesn't get easy either.
Would be phenomenal if they drew Barcelona in the group stage.
Yes.
Because obviously they would seed, I think, in pot 3. Pot 2?
They'd probably beat Rangers, and then they're probably looking towards a tie against Atletico Madrid.
Because I assume pot 1 is the champions at the top 4.
Yeah.
So you'd have Lyon, Bayern, Chelsea, Barca.
Yeah.
Obviously, English teams can't seed English teams.
No.
So if Arsenal and City get there, doesn't really matter what pot they're in. Barca have a 1 in 3 chance of not drawing an English side if they both get there.
Incredible.
Which it would be very difficult to envision a way that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And either way, it means one of them's got to play Lyon, and the other one's got to play Bayern.
Yeah.
So we're good. If my thing with having both with the other English sides being there is that we're guaranteed some really nice group stage games, some really interesting games. 4 minutes of additional time on the way in this one. So I didn't think last year, obviously, we treated all the Chelsea games, but we cover predominantly WSL content, as we've seen. When there's not a WSL team involved, there's not as many views and stuff. Obviously, internationals is different. But yeah, from a personal point of view, City and Arsenal, as much as I don't like them, because I'm a Chelsea fan, but I would like to see them in the competition.
Player of the match?
Be interesting. Player of the match, I will say... Well, Tony Baltimore makes the most sense. She scored.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to the first half. I'm going to go Captain.
Yeah.
Captain. Impressed with her. I think she looks to be very much at the level.
Yeah,
which is very impressive because she came back from loan, playing in the Eredivisie last season. I think that Wardlaw is someone else who's really impressed me during pre-season.
Yeah.
For Arsenal, I mean, Kafai showed glimpses, but they didn't do a lot today. I definitely don't. They're not going hell for leather.
No.
Lexi Potter bearing in on goal there. It's a really useful or really crucial interception. Challenge from Cadena, sorry.
I'll go Hermano. I think she looked really sharp when she could get on the ball. She did well with it. When she didn't have it, she hunted it down incredibly. Obviously set up the first goal for Sandy Baltimore. So overall, a decent cameo from Hermano. I was thoroughly impressed, and hopefully she can have a really strong breakout season for Chelsea this campaign under Bompastor.
Yeah, great suggestion.
Yeah.
Reed. Weinreuter. Back now to goalkeeper Manuel Zinsberger.
Good football.
Ball through to Rousseau. Good defending from
until
Bjorn.
that was really nice stuff from Arsenal until the ball through to Rousseau, which she couldn't get on the end of. Lovely stuff. Arsenal knocking it about with a bit of pace there. Really, actually, it was quite surprising. But yeah, 2 minutes to play. This game is all but over. And Chelsea will be happy to take a maximum... we'll take a 100% record from the States. City, I don't think I'll be too disappointed about this result.
City?
Arsenal, sorry, yeah.
Don't think City are going to mind. City will be brimming.
Yeah. What are City doing at the moment?
I haven't seen any of their pre-season. Should have a look.
Yes. I think they're the one of the only teams in pre-season I haven't watched.
Well, you've watched all the other sides?
No. Hampton goes long. That's a great ball. Watson's good chase.
Well, they took part in the Perth International Football Cup in Australia.
I'm guessing they won.
They there with West Ham, Leicester, and PSG.
Cool.
Start on the 21st of August and finish on the 2nd of September. They played Leicester. They played Leicester on the 28th.
Yeah.
Which is obviously Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll play either West Ham or PSG on the 29th.
What a random assortment of teams.
Yeah, I don't really know how this thing. Oh no, sorry. So they play. So it's City versus Leicester on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Thursday it's West Ham versus PSG, and then there'll be a semi-final and final on the Sunday in the Optus Stadium.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're doing like open train sessions and stuff, obviously, and Fowler and Kennedy are Australian. That's what the article says. So there you go. Chelsea have won it high. Lexi Potter fighting for it. Looked like a foul in there from McCabe. And instead, it's full time. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. A good end to pre-season not an end to pre-season for Chelsea, but Arsenal. Well, a very good result for Arsenal. That's a pre-season end. They would have wanted to get a win today, even a draw, but I don't think they'll be necessarily disappointed with the performance they were in this match. And, with Arsenal coming up in Rangers coming up in 9 days' time, that's really interesting to see. Good to see Potter, Leah, Reed, embracing, obviously, players that featured in the U17 Euros.
Yes.
A few months ago. So, good game. Good stuff. Chelsea, I think, played well, deserved winners. But yeah, interesting to see.
Yeah, good game.
We will be back. Our next stream will be on the 3rd of September. That will be the game between Arsenal and Rangers. Very excited for that. Should be interesting to see. Arsenal hoping to get to the Champions League. Then, if they do win that and face either Atletico or... I've now forgotten the other teams. Apologies to that team. Rosengard? Something like that? Rosenborg, maybe?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Can't remember. But either way, it'll be interesting. If they do win that and face the winner of that match, then we will be watching that game on the Saturday as well, I think, depending on the timing. If they don't win, we might watch Chelsea final, depending on whether it's being broadcast for £4.99 or nothing. Do join us there. But that is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.